Hi guys, I think this is working. Getting it set up. It's Luke Smith, RuralVacantLand.com, coming to you live from Southern California. A lot of people say sunny Southern California, but this is a cloudy, rainy day, and so I kind of threw a cloudy one up in the background here. It's been a while since I've done a live feed like this for RuralVacantLand.com and on YouTube. I've been doing some on TikTok, but I haven't been doing them on YouTube as much recently. I took a vacation. I went traveling for Christmas, New Year's, and I was in China, and I got out of there before the virus stuff went super crazy. And yeah, so I had a lot of thinking and time to consider what I'm doing here on this YouTube channel and other social media outlets. And I think I'd like to up the quality. I'd like to change it more towards education, and I'd like to be more educational and less salesy. And hopefully that's okay, and you guys like that. And I think it creates more conversations or attracts more conversations that I'd rather have. And I think some of the people that are learning how to trade land will eventually buy properties anyway, and it'll all work out for the best, right? And so I have decided to not give away properties on the YouTube on the channel or through social media anymore. Um, got my hand slapped a little bit on some of the giveaways, and yeah, I'm not going to tell those stories till they're all settled out someday, but I'm not going to give land away anymore. I'm going to give information, which I think is worth more than the land I've been giving away. And I think I've got to get the lawyer side set up more for the paperwork on lots of the deals that I get into, lots of things that I've learned from the past. I'm trying to do the right thing and provide a good service, good land, and there's a lot of people out there that just take advantage of that. So I've been up in the paperwork side a bit, and I'll be up in it some more. It just happens with real estate. It's just part of it, right? But it doesn't stop us from doing some deals. So the other thing I've been doing the last bit that I haven't been online is I've been doing a lot of mailers. I've been working on my spreadsheets to process mailers, adding new formulas and stuff, get it more streamlined to be able to do more mailers faster, more efficiently. I haven't been able to take on all the phone calls that those mailers drum up, so I've been working with more partners. I've been using working with partners to take the phone calls and do a lot of the logistics on closing these deals, a lot of the back and forth stuff. Um, I've been using more people, like boots on the ground people, to go check these properties out ahead of me actually paying for them. I've been using partners to help pay for the properties or pay for the properties. And I've been using other people to sell properties too, like just go market the thing, take the calls, give tours, the whole bit, right? So historically, I've been trying to sell everything through the website, social media, and stuff. But I can't answer all the questions. It's too many questions. It's too much. It's too much back and forth stuff to close the deals. I think it's better to go buy more deals and have someone else do that. So I'm going to keep promoting properties and telling you about properties and stuff. But as you get into bigger dollar properties, I'm putting a lot more of that on other people's shoulders in lots of different various ways. Um, yeah, so I got a couple people chiming into the chats here. I got it on a couple different computers. So I got this pulled up, trying to spread the load around. I got it. I thought I had it set up. I've been trying the last couple months to do a live show on YouTube and TikTok. 'Cause if you haven't been on TikTok, TikTok has been blowing up. I got the same username on TikTok. It's just ruralvacantland.com, and it's an app. If you don't know, it's just an app you put on your phone, and a lot of people ask, why are you so addicted to TikTok? I'm like, because you're not 14 years old, right? So everyone thinks it's like some teenage girl thing. So you get on there and there's a bunch of song and dance. And the song and dance is like people going back and forth and communicating with each other in song and dance. And it's beautiful, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's great. But I don't really care about that stuff. I care about the algorithm that TikTok has created to get those videos in front of the people that love to see those videos the most. It's like above and beyond. I mean, I've got a friend um, that does database data stuff for Spotify. And Spotify is like a music app where you can listen to music. And he's been telling me about the databasing side of Spotify is totally bonkers crazy because they're trying to keep track of everybody's interactions with music, whether they like it or comment or they whatever they're doing with music, right? And so if they listen to this kind of music, they might like that kind of music, and if they like this song, they might like that song. That whole logic, there's a bunch of data behind that, so it's very data driven to serve up the right song. And he's telling me about how fast the data has to go into the database, has to be searchable for it to spit it back out into a product that Spotify is serving up to their customers. I never thought of it that way, but Spotify is just crazy database stuff, right? And so this Spotify had to go poach the data guys, the database guys that are the best in the world. And he was working for online gambling business. Him and a bunch of his friends, online gambling is very data driven as well. And the security of it and things is very touchy. So he came from that database side to go create databases for Spotify. And so he's like explaining this data side to me and how the data interactions are getting so much faster and more usable going forward that it's going to create a lot better user interactions and other apps in the future. And so now I think, I don't have any proof of this or whatever, but I think TikTok has copied that kind of databasing system that Spotify's using, or the same idea, the same, it's Chinese made, they copy stuff, right? So I'm sure they copied it from somewhere, but they put it to use better than anybody else. They put it to use to show you videos, little tiny videos, like 15-second videos of exactly what you want to see. And so me making videos about land, I make these stupid little videos showing off a piece of property. It's like 15 seconds. I jam everything I can in there about the property in 15 seconds. And then I put it on TikTok. And TikTok throws it at the wall. They'll throw it at maybe 500 people when you're new. And after you get a little bit more traction on there, they'll throw it at like 2,000 people, right? But they'll throw it at the wall and they'll see if it sticks. And if those people like it, they heart it. If they watch it multiple times, if they leave notes, comments, ask questions, whatever, then they don't just leave it at that 500 or 2,000 people, depending on your user status. They parlay it. It's like progressive. They send it to another set of people that like the same kind of stuff. And so maybe it's 5,000 people the second time around or some number like that. I don't understand it that well. I'm guessing, and just from my use of it, I'm coming up with this theory. So they throw it at another chunk of people. And if they heart and interact and, watch it a bunch of times, then they're more likely to throw it at even more people. So the more interactions, the more use, the more attention this video gets, the more it gets, I'm going to use the word progressive again. It gets progressively out there to more and more people. So you can take a little 15-second video and pitch whatever it is you're trying to do or sell or create, or it's funny, it's whatever, and put it on there. And you can have 1 million views in like a day with this app. I mean, it'll just like zing, 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 get out to a bunch of people. And so I started doing that about land, and people started showing up. They started showing up and touring the properties. The phone blew up. They're asking questions. The comments went crazy. They're asking questions. And I'm sending them, giving them directions, and they go out and they look at the land. And some of the people go to my website and they find answers to what other people are asking in the comments, and they answer the questions for me. It's like, what? This is great. These are the best followers ever. And so other people have the same question over and over and over about the land, and the other people watching it are answering it for me faster than I can answer it. This is just great. So it gets a lot of eyes on the new property that I've got for sale. And my screen here is going nuts. Okay, but that's why I love TikTok. It's free. It gets in front of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people in a really short amount of time with exactly what you want to deliver as your message. I started figuring out, I'm sure I can get a lot better over time. And if I put more time into it, I think it will. But I started finding out the ones where I put the actual price of the property in the, all over the place, like in the picture of it, put it across my forehead when I'm talking or whatever. People stop asking about the price. And if I put, where it's at, they stop asking about where it's at. But you don't want to put everything in the video because you want people to ask stuff, and then it goes out to more and more and more and more people. I started putting like all kinds of information in the notes or in the comments section of the video. I create the video and then put a bunch of comments in there and links and everything. And people don't ask questions because all the information's right there, and then the video doesn't get spread out to a bunch of people. So that's kind of stupid. But people ask questions and other people answer it, I think is a better way to learn about properties than having all the information right there at your fingertips and people don't read it all or look at it all anyway. So either way, there's a tip. If you guys are dealing land, you got to go set up a TikTok account. If you're trying to learn about it, just go on TikTok. Go on there for like, I don't know, all day Saturday or something. Like just dedicate a whole day to TikTok. And that software, that app, it's going to suck you in. No matter what kind of stuff you like to watch, you're going to find yourself laughing or seeing this video again and again. And then it's going to find other stuff like it. And it might not be land, but if you're focused on land and you're focused on real estate stuff, you're going to see more real estate, more land, more deals, and you're going to see more and more and more. It's just going to take you down, deep down into that space of whatever it is that you like to watch. And that makes it addicting. And that makes for a captive audience for me to serve stuff up to you. So I think I'm going to do more advertising over there, more education over here on YouTube. So there you go. We got a bunch of hellos. And Mr. Woolley from Nigeria saying, welcome back. Michael Martin says, wow, been a while. Yeah, guys. Somebody Survival says, hello all, welcome back. Hello, Michael. Good seeing you again. Yeah, I missed all these videos. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for missing me. But it's hard to create full-time all the time, coming up with stuff. Angela Park, I miss these videos. Yeah, hello, Luke. Greg Gee, I bought land 5 months ago, never received. Where's my refund? Greg, I just replied to you like an hour or two ago on the complaint you put on Better Business Bureau, saying I'm sending a notary over there, and the girls in my office have been saying the same thing. It's really hard to find notaries around you. You seem to be in a rural area. We've got voicemails out with a couple different notaries in your area. I've got your paperwork right here. I've got a check for you. I'm trying to send a notary over with the proper paperwork for you to sign the land back to me, and the notary will give you a check. But thanks for coming on. Let's see. Posh Closet says, hi Luke, happy all Mondays. Hello, Aaron Green. Any Cochise County opt-out info? Opt-out info. So guys, Cochise County changed the rules in November last year. They changed the rules on being able to split the properties. And I processed paperwork on numerous properties in Cochise County before the rules changed, like the day before the rules changed. Because I found out about the rule change like the day that day, and I jammed all the paperwork through there that I could figure on the splits that I had going on, and made it happen. And some of it they processed, some of it they haven't, and so the paperwork's a bit slow over there. If that's what you're asking about on the Cochise County, I think that's what the previous guy is complaining about. Cochise County property. Just got a mess with settling a bunch of the Cochise County deeds, and a lot of it has to do with this rule change on splitting properties in Cochise County. I've been refunding people. I've been hiring surveyors on other ones. I've got an attorney on a couple of them that I think is going to get the message through to the assessor's office that it's not their job to be the judge on these transactions that are, in my opinion and legal lawyer's opinion, everything's straightforward about them, and the county doesn't like some of my transactions and they're sitting on them and not processing them. So that's a different story. Rhonda Strange, those few run in the rest of us. Those few ruin it for the rest of us. It's okay, Rhonda. There's always some deals out there that go strange. It's how you fix them, right? Agreed, Rhonda. Michael Ferguson, so true, Ron. Okay. Bordeaux's Nomadic Miami. Oh my gravity. Oh my gravy. Thank you a million times over for all you do to help people achieve their dreams of land and home ownership. Thank you, Bordeaux. I'll keep going here. So my plan on this, I wasn't thinking I'd get on here and answer a million questions. I'll try to answer some, but my plan today is to do a mailer. I've got a bunch of people that I promised to do mailers for in the past, and they sent me money to do mailers. People keep trying to send me money to do mailers. I keep sending it back to them like I'm totally booked. I can't do any more mailers for other people. I want to get through the backlog and jam them out. I was a little over 50,000 mailers backlog. Now I got it down to 18,000 something. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I'm getting it down there. I think a couple more good mailer pushes, and I can get through the rest of the mailers. I haven't been able to process that many mailers in the past because I've been trying to put too much of it on my own shoulders, but now I've been outsourcing a good deal of it with my tribe, and we're able to process a lot more. So I think it's a good problem to have. I'm coming out the back side of it. That's a lot of why I haven't been making videos recently, is because I've been processing mailers like crazy. Yeah, Michael, just work it out, Luke. We still love what you do. Yeah, there we go. Just work it out. Got a different one to work out every day. Pagoda Rolls. Hi, Ed. China copies stuff. So true, so true. Yeah, they do. Aaron Green, Rhonda Strange, which few? Okay. Sandra Getter, welcome back, Luke. I have been missing your videos for the information you provide because this is the best way to get a message to you. Please call me. We're ready to close the parcel. So Sandra, we got the ones in like some Cochise properties too, and we're trying to got all the taxes paid off. We got to get the rest of the funds for the remainder of the deal and close it out. I got too many things on my plate. Like, can you please talk to Jessica? Jessica in the office, if you call in, I think she's been talking to you. I was trying to get Jessica to draw up the paperwork and close that one out, get that deal wrapped up, how much more money you need to pay to buy out the other owners in there. And it would be awesome if you could take it up with Jessica. It's going to happen a lot faster than trying to get me. Redefine Living. Hey, Redefine. Hey, I just deleted my daughter's TikTok yesterday. Use discretion. He's got the teenage daughters. There you go. You got to try that TikTok yourself for a while, though. It's not just teenage girl stuff. I mean, you could promote your business on there too. I think you're doing tile, if I remember right. Like, you could promote the tile jobs that you're doing, and it'll go find people that are looking for tile jobs. I mean, I put hunting land up there, and it starts showing people, like the people commenting and asking questions about the hunting land. They're like holding up the buck they just shot with the rack, showing off the big rack, and it's like tongue hanging out and everything. Like, this is the guy that wants hunting land, right? And the next guy will have like his big semi truck in the back, black with like tripped out rims and grates, like it's totally customized. He's super proud of it, and he needs a property that he can like park that thing on and turn it around, and can be anywhere because he's a trucker, right? Like, my crowd shows up that likes to buy this kind of land, and that app goes and finds them. Like, I don't have to go on Facebook and figure out who they are. Like, white male, 55 to 65 years old. That's the average buyer for these kinds of properties, right? And that also likes outdoors stuff and DIY, and like on Facebook, you pick them out of drop downs and you target that person, but you got to know what you want to target in that drop down. In TikTok, it just figures it out for you. There might be some lady who's not 55 to 65 years old that doesn't like the whatever it is the white male typical buyer of these things likes, that wants land, and she's looking for land, and it finds her because she's looking for land stuff like this, and it just chases her down. If she uses TikTok, it'll just keep going after her and keep serving it up and putting it in her face, saying, here's Luke again with another one just like what you liked before. Here's another one. Here's another one. So take a look at TikTok. Don't just delete it off the kids' accounts. I mean, you could use that tool. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, police the kids, but you could use that tool in your toolbox for your business, whatever that business is. Angela Park, exactly. I will not be on TikTok. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Some people hate it. That's fine. Angela Park, and should not be used for business. Why shouldn't TikTok be used for business? That's okay. I disagree. If people don't want to see business stuff on there, they don't watch the business stuff, and they get more song and dance, and that's because that's what they like. People that like to see the business stuff, they'll get more business stuff. Redefine, like, come on, take down the complaint. I have purchased from Luke a few times. It's all good. Don't stress on it. It's okay. People complain. What kind of business is real if people don't complain, right? It's the ones that have no complaints you got to ask questions about. We the Animals, can you recommend cheap or $500 a month payments land for the home RV in California? Okay, so cheap or $500 a month payments land for tiny home RV California. I got some here. Let's throw up the website. I want to get into this mailer, but I'll try to answer questions for a bit here. There's one I'm thinking of in Shasta. I think it's like 400 something dollars a month. If I'm thinking of if it's still for sale, it might not still be for sale. Let's see. So I'm on the website. I'm ruralvacantland.com. I'm in the advanced search thing up here, and I'm cruising through a bunch of different places. And I got this whole thing sorted by county or by state and then county. And so some people like that, some don't. I like it because that's how I think about data. This data on these properties comes from different county assessors, so I keep thinking about it. And on a county by county basis, some people are like, give it to me by city or give it to me by zip code, or I don't have all that data. I probably do, but I don't have it assimilated right to sort the properties that way. Yeah, so here we go. So here's one in Shasta County that I'm asking $437 a month for 48 months. It's 5 acres. And there are these other ones too. I mean, there's other properties here in Shasta. There's a bunch of properties, but Shasta County is more open and easy to do what you're talking about on it. And so here we go. Here's one of my TikTok videos. So this TikTok video didn't go so well. It only had, oh, this is property views 700. Let's see what the TikTok video had.
5 acres in Shasta County, California. Bunch of trees in the area. You can see Mount Shasta from the top of the hill.
Can't see it.
Backwoods access.
You know, there's an idea of one of the videos. So like if you bring that up on, I don't know where maybe you have to be on my account to see the analytics, but you can't see the analytics of these videos on the video. But I mean, it's not very many comments and hearts on this one, so it probably didn't go very far. It's probably only a couple thousand views. But I mean, some of the videos that I got on here are hundreds. There's lots of them. They're hundreds of thousands. There's lots of them over 500,000. There's a bunch of them over 1 million views. I mean, crazy views on these TikTok videos. And you look at the statistics of how many unique people are seeing that. So you get over 1 million views. It's not 1 million different people looking at it. It's more like 400,000 people looking at it, which is in the statistics that I've seen. Okay, back to this property. So this property is 5 acres. It's back in the woods. You might have a hard time getting there. There's a little trail that gets over here. Looks like you could drive up to it. It's not like a highway you're gonna drag your huge monster fifth wheel off of or something. I've had guys that live in Bluebird buses, like a yellow school bus, and they're like, oh yeah, that you can drive that thing anywhere. You just go 1 mile an hour. It's like, I like that kind of attitude. And then the guys that buy the fancy motorhomes with like sinks and everything polished and every super spectacular one. I mean, they got to stay on the paved road to get in and off the property and everything. And it's just, yeah, maybe it's different people buy different vehicles to live in. But there's a little road near there. It looks like there's a trail on the north border of it. It doesn't look super easy to access. I mean, you're gonna need like chainsaw and shovel and stuff to go level some stuff out and make a good spot to park, or maybe just park in the street, because I doubt anybody drives through there anyway, and then go have fun on the property. So that's one. I mean, but there's a ton of properties all over the website in California. Just start looking through the California ones, or pull up the map and just start flipping through them and take a look at the pricing and see. Each property's different uses. Like, you're gonna have to just ask and research each one to see which one you can move into. And you do all the research and you go move in, and neighbor price still goes crazy on you because of whatever. They don't like the color of your hubcaps or something, and complains up storm, finds some law to call out on you. It's just some of the stuff neighbors do. So the more further out in the middle of nowhere property you can get, the better. I'm dealing with a bunch of different neighbors and properties I've got up for sale or have sold. Like, I sold a property 3 years ago, and the neighbors come after me and they're like complaining because I sold it to the wrong person for them. I mean, it's not my problem, guys. Especially when it's a neighbor I didn't even do business with. It's like, you should have bought the property. So I've been doing a lot more sales through realtors. I've picked on realtors so much in the past. This mailer we're getting into today, I'm going to go back up to Kitsap County because I've been doing some deals in Kitsap County, Washington. I got this realtor there, and I'll tell you about some Yeah, some deal. So I got this mobile home, right? I'm trying to figure out what I can say and what I can't for how far it is into the deal. And I get this mobile home property, and I figure why not? I'll mail mobile homes. I'll mail them the amount of money that I'd like to buy the land for, and who cares if there's a mobile home on there or not? I'll just go for the older mobile homes that might not be taken care of, but it probably validifies the usefulness of the land. There's probably utilities there. It probably has a septic or sewer that's like, might not be cool to use anymore, but it says that the land took it in the first place. And so we could probably put a new one in there. Maybe we could revive the old one, keep using the old one. Or maybe, I didn't expect it, but I started getting mobile homes that I was just trying to buy the land at a discount. And I have people go over there check it out, and the mobile home's like livable. It's go buy it for 50 grand, sell it for 150 or 175 or something like that. And it's like, okay, that works too. I just want to sell the thing and move on. So one of them, there's a couple different ones like it, but one of them, there's some people living in it, and they've been getting away rent free for years and years and years and years from the old people that own the place, and they're just squatting, just squatters taking care of it. Like they got the power running, the water, everything going, and not supposed to be there, not supposed to be there for years. And the neighbors like, oh yeah, they moved in after so and so moved out, or after so and so went to the old age home. I mean, just people just moved in. They just took advantage of the scenario. So this particular realtor that I'm working off the back of, and this mailer coming up, he went over, he figures it all out, talks to the people, talks to the neighbors, and he's like, yeah, I'll do the paperwork to boot him out. He knows the process. I'm in a property management company anyway. And then, even if they burn the place down on the way out, I'm sure we can sell the land for more than you're paying for it. If they don't burn it down, we can sell it for a bunch more. And it's like, cool, 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 all the way around. So that's and give money to the people that have owned the thing forever or their families, and everybody wins. I guess the people in there. I mean, I'll try to find them somewhere else or offer them to rent it back, or help them on the move out. We'll figure out a way. So I'm going to try to get more mailers in his area to buy assets that this particular guy can go and do the due diligence in the front for me before I put down the money. Like he can be over there taking pictures. Like on some of these, I called him and he's at the property an hour later, sending me, trying to do like FaceTime stuff with me, showing me the property. It's like, oh heck yeah, let's double down on this guy. So that's what I'm doing today. Well, I've already done it a couple times. We're gonna like 5 times down on him. So if we won mailers, are you still doing those? Yeah. So the mailers, I haven't run into any problems in giving mailers away. I might give more mailers away in the future. I just can't give more mailers away now because I got to catch up with the ones that I've done. And I think I'm not 100% sure if I've got all the given away mailers caught up yet or not, but I've been catching up with a lot of them. It's Brodrex says it's Boudreaux, pronounced, it's a Louisiana name. Oh, he's corrected me in the past. Boudreaux, yeah, there you go. Okay, I was thinking French, but Louisiana, there we go. Sandra got it. Yes, I will. Thank you. So Sandra is going to talk to Jessica. I've talked to Jessica in the past about setting you up, Sandra. We got all the details of your particular deal in our software, and it should be bang outable. Anger, what are mailers? I must have missed it. So mailers. So this land, this whole bigger picture thing is we sell land, buy land, sell land, buy land, sell land. How do we buy the cheapest land in the area? Selling the cheapest land in the area is usually like, hey, here's the price, go figure it out, and this stuff sells. That's cool. That's really easy. I love to do that. It's like, how many can we do? Oh, we can get the cheapest one in this county, and that county, and that county, and that county, and that county. We'll just get the cheapest land in every state. How do you go find the cheapest property and sell it as the cheapest property? You got to buy it for less than you're selling it for, right? I got to buy it wholesale and sell it retail, or sell it wholesale. I got to buy like super below wholesale. So when we go look at the marketplace online or in person or in the newspaper or wherever you look at the marketplace, doesn't matter anymore. It's the marketplace, right? So you go look at the marketplace. All the stuff that's being marketed in the marketplace for sale is what people generally think sets the price of the asset. But usually, I mean, a flooded market might have 1% of the assets up for sale and marketed at any given time in real estate, from my experience and opinion. I'm sure the numbers change in different places, but just generally rule of thumb. Like maybe 1% of them are up for sale. Some places have like less than 1/10 of 1% of all the units of that kind of asset in the area marketed and up for sale. Some don't have any. Those are just really fun places to target. But those properties are there, and there's people that own them, and you can ask those people if you can buy from them without them marketing it for sale, right? It's like maybe you see a fancy car in someone's driveway and it's like, awesome, I love that thing. It's got the right colors and the right whatever that you love about it. You go knock on their door and you could ask them if you can buy that car. It doesn't have a for sale sign on it. It's not out at the street corner. It's not at the dealership. It's not in the local, auto trader newspaper or whatever, but you can still go ask them, right? Now, is that in the marketplace? Yeah, I think so. Is it marketed? No, it's not. So in real estate, there's a lot of these properties that are in the marketplace that are not being marketed. And one of the most efficient ways that I know of to get a hold of these people is sending them a letter, because the data of who owns the properties is public information with the county. And the county has to provide it to you if you request it. And there's laws in some of the states that make it really hard to get that data, but they still have to provide it to you. That's just the way the U.S. is set up. And so you can get that information, and I get it through data aggregators. So one of the ones that I use, we're going to jump into here soon, is RealQuest. I've used a bunch of different data sets, but we're going to use RealQuest, if I can find it here. Let's see. Yeah, so they changed their website. I just did change it. Of course, it expired. So it's CoreLogic. CoreLogic is like the people that do Experian, Equifax, whatever, like some of those databases. They do data on lots of different things. But this data set that they have available, and the RealQuest, like real estate, finding quest name, RealQuest Pro, is real estate data. So we can get in here and we can start searching by the county and the state, and we can search by all kinds of different parameters, information that they have about the properties, and we can narrow it into a specific subset of properties that we want to ask for. And we can send out a mailer, just a letter, a piece of mail that says, hey, I want to buy your property. My phone number is right here. My mailing address is here. And I'll put a piece of paper in there that says, this is how much I'm willing to pay for your property cash, and I'll close pretty darn quick too, right? Make it easy for you. Just sign here, send it back. And then, some people sign, send it back. Some people pick up the phone, they call. Some people hoop and holler and say, you're calling my baby ugly. This is not enough money. Like, what are you, crazy? I need $150 million to sell this property, even though the one down the street's for sale for $95,000, and Luke just offered, I don't know, $40,000 or something. But my neighbor says, $40,000, I'd love $40,000 next week, and he signs it and sends it back. So you've got prices that are marketed that are not happening because they're still being marketed. They haven't happened yet. That's the top of the market. That's the highest price stuff. People don't go pay more than what it's being marketed for, right? Generally speaking. And then you've got the ones that are just hope, dream, no logical reality going on. There's a lot of people in the middle. And then you've got people at the other end, statistically wise, that just want to sell. They want cash. They need cash. Something happened in their life. They just don't want to deal with it anymore. They just got a complaint by, I don't know, the trees are growing over the stop sign. They got to go clip that stupid tree back again for the 20th time, and they got to pay the fine to the county or to the city or something. Like they just don't want it. They're don't wanters. It's the same thing as like if you're having a garage sale and you're putting the stuff out in your driveway and you're putting 25 cents on it. You don't want the kids to just take it and dump it in the street. But if someone pays 25 cents for the sweater you paid $50 for in the past, like they're probably going to love it and go use it, right? And it gets out of your garage and it's out of your hair and it's gone. And so some people want to get rid of real estate the same way they want to get rid of all the junk in their garage. And they take these prices that you feed them, whatever price you make up. I mean, it could be too high, too low. Doesn't matter. They take your price because they want to get rid of it. And so with that, you pay them. They're happy to get the money. You're happy to get the land or the house or the building or the... I just mailed multi-family complexes. Give it a try, right? Um, you know, crazy big dollar amounts on there that I'm not used to making offers on. But if any of them come through, I mean, sign me up. I'd crunch the math, so my numbers would be, I'm doing the happy dance if any of those offers come back. I'm probably going to be wondering what kind of crackhead building it is. But we'll go just drive over there and see. I had to hit the local ones. So that's what a mailer is. I send out an offer to buy their property. And that's why that gives you the reason, the logic, the whole aura of what we're doing here. And then I usually go put them up for sale on the website. And so what I've been saying in this call is I'm getting a little bit burned out of constantly selling them without title. And so a lot more of the properties in the future are bigger dollar properties. And, buying them for 20 grand and 50 grand, 100 grand or a couple $100,000 and selling them for more than that. And using a title company so when the person that buys it thinks the sky is falling and everything's that's going wrong is Luke's fault, there's a title company in between, and I can point at the title company, and that's their job to like settle the trade, right? So I'm going to pay a whole bunch of money for the title stuff to have that reassurance going to the buyer that it's not all Luke's fault. It's like, this is the way it is. This is real estate. So that's the idea. Angela Park. How can I find land that doesn't have a bunch of animals to hunt? What would I look for? You could look for some desert. I don't know. A bunch of buildings. A bunch of... you want land without animals? Hey, everyone always wants land with animals, in my opinion. So I don't know how to go look for land without animals. I'd say the less water, the less animals, or maybe in between, median in between the freeway. They don't make it. I shouldn't joke. I'm sure there's a way. I can't think of it off the top of my head to narrow in on land without animals on it. Redefined Living says, Luke, you have a property in Barstow, but payments are not an option. It's been up for a while. Will you sell it to me on terms? It's not an expensive one. I'll give you a down payment right away. So I think, is it 80 acres? I've got 80 acres by Barstow, a little south of Barstow that's been on the website. I think it's the oldest one on the website now. The guy that I bought that and I sold it to a guy that he came back and he said, Luke, go sell this property. So we did some paperwork, basically like an option agreement. So he wants to do it in cash. I tried to do terms with him on a couple different buyers that came through, and it didn't work out very well. I'd like to sell that one cash if it's the one that's of it. But we did a mailer together, and with a neighbor of mine that he bought, and I think he sold it on terms in the past, and then the guy never followed through in the long run, and so it's back up for sale. And he wants cash. Think of any others in that area. I'm pretty sold out of that area. Maybe some of the other guys on the website have some properties in that area that I'm not thinking of. Delosa might be interested in trading some land. Is that something you get involved in? Trading some land? Yeah, I'm always buying and selling land. You probably don't like the bid prices that I give you for the land. I mean, I'm just saying, usually in the low bid, that's how I get this stuff. You're probably better off selling the land to someone else. And, buying land from me, I'll probably sell land at the price you're trying to sell it at or more. Somebody's going for that 20 acres. Not sure. Angela Park, I'll give it a shot. Jessica, we've got a bunch of them on the website. Please go look at ruralvacantland.com. We've got a bunch of properties that are scattered around, I think, in those different states. You're just gonna have to look state by state. We the Animals, cool. Going to your site now. Thanks, guys. Awesome question. We the Animals, I'd love to move back to California with my sister. Nice. We're talking about that Shasta property, upstate New York. Yeah. So what's the average hold time on vacant land? 5 months. So Nakeem Morgan is asking, what's the average hold time on vacant land? So I think this is more trading land question, which is great. Thanks, Nakeem. Thanks everybody for bringing questions. So the average hold time on land, like that 80 acres we are just talking about. I mean, I bought and sold that thing in like, I don't know, a month or two, but it's still on the website because the guy that I sold it to wants to resell it at a much higher price, and I don't usually do that at the much higher price. It's still the cheapest thing in the market anywhere around. That's why I'm okay with it. But it's a good deal higher than where I think they move fast. So I think a lot of what you're asking, Nakeem, is based on pricing. So if you get the pricing right on the sell side of these properties, they can go really fast. And I'd say the average, if you price them right, is less than 5 months. It could be more of a month or two if they're priced right. Now, what tends to happen in a lot of these different accounts with people I've done deals with, my personal finances, family accounts, other people, awesome. And then we'll go back again, we'll buy a bunch of more properties, and we'll sell all but like one of them. And that keeps happening. And what it does is that one that doesn't sell locks up capital, and it goes and it goes and it goes and it goes longer and longer term. And usually there's something wrong with it. It's usually can be fixed with the price, but I don't usually have the nerve to lower the price enough to get it gone. Now, I have in lots of the properties, but sometimes I just haven't. I got too many properties going back and forth at any given time. I just hired a guy. I don't know how well it's going to work out, but I wanted to try him. I got a new guy off of Upworks to go through all the properties on the website, my properties and other people's properties that are on the website, and give like a comparative market analysis on each property and start doing a report that if he can get good enough at it and the quality is good enough there, I wanted to like issue this report to all the people that are selling properties on my website. And the report is basically, where's your property priced comparative to something like it in the marketplace? And if we're consistently at 50% price of what stuff like it in the marketplace is going for, it's not going to stay in those reports like it's month after month after month. It's just going to be new properties, new properties, new properties. But if the property is priced at what comparable stuff is going for in the marketplace, or higher, or just a little bit less, and like it doesn't have good enough pictures, it doesn't have like somebody giving a tour, and it doesn't have the full service sales that like a local realtor might have, it's not going to sell, right? And so I think that kind of report will point from a third party, will point that out to me to bite the bullet and lower the price on the properties that aren't selling, and hopefully entice the others that are selling stuff on my website to do the same and give a much more fluid movement of properties on the website so they don't clog up the pipes and stay there for a long time. And I think if I do it per person that's on the website, I will be able to see which sellers are not selling properties because they're just not aggressively pricing their properties. And so if you're selling if you're selling properties on my website, and if you guys have heard, I've talked about it numerous times, and I think there's a link in this video below, that if you want to go sell properties on the website, you can sign up. It's $200 a month, and I refund you every month you don't sell stuff. So you only pay if you're selling stuff, basically, right? And so I want really efficient people that are selling land to be on the website. They're good customer service, hopefully better customer service than I'm able to provide to everybody, and just make it happen, right? So that's some of the people come back month after month after month. It's like, I want a refund, I want a refund, I want a refund, and stuff's not selling. I think some of it's because the properties aren't alike a lot of the other ones that are on the website, and I don't have the traffic for that, and they're not priced, or they're not priced well, or they're not presented well, or they're just junky quality properties. Some of the guys try to show up with a bunch of properties that are like optioned, and like they didn't even have the nerve to put the money up themselves, and it's like, you can see it in the quality of the properties and the pricing, and it's just, what's wrong with this portfolio? Like, oh, none of them are actually in your name, they're all optioned. I get it. So I don't know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just, you got to get the quality. I think that'll up the quality for everybody. So hopefully this guy that I just hired will produce those reports very efficiently and point that out, and probably put egg all over my face in pricing some of my properties. But I think it'll clean up the pipes and make these things happen, and educate everybody else on the website. So I think it'd be good for added service to people selling on the website. Dan Podcast says, hi guys, baked beans and toast. Luke, do you know of any cheap land for sale next to water or that has a creek? Don't care if it floods a lot. I just want it for camping. It has a creek. So we've got some different creek properties in Arkansas. Trying to think of other creek ones. Like there's 18 acres in Amador County, California you might like. There's a creek going right through the middle of the property. And there's a power line too. And there's there's these hills, nice looking trees. And there's good looking camping spots in there. Amador County, I mean, that's a good one. With a creek. I can't think of other creek properties off the top of my head. Oh, I've got some in Washington. Like there's one in Skagit County, Washington. I'm not sure if it's still on the website. It might still be on the website. There's a couple in Skagit County, Washington that are next to creeks for whatever reason. There's one in Kitsap County that's on a creek too. That's got a pre-approved septic plan for it. These are higher dollar properties than maybe you want to pay for just camping though. But to get the creek, I mean, it's generally costing more, or you're going to like Arkansas to get the cheap stuff. Excuse me, about to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Okay, so Jessica, okay, going to your website now. Thanks, guys. That's crazy. I have a friend who squatted rent-free for 4.5 years in Hawaii during the recession. Nice. I mean, I'm sure you can go squatting in lots of different places, but glad you're okay, dude. You had a good vacation. That's ADC, whatever it is. Yeah, it's some scary stuff that's going on in China, right? I was just in China, and I went to the smog place close to where I live, and there's a Chinese lady. She's from Guangdao. I've been to Guangdao, and I always talk to her about Guangdao, that part of China, right? And I said, I just got back from China, and she looks at me and she just backs away. And this was before it was like really going all over the news. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, aren't you watching the news? It's all about the disease. Everyone in China is sick right now. And I'm like, whatever. But it was just funny, the Chinese lady just jumping away from me because I just got back from China. Yeah, we're fine. My family left Shanghai. Like the building that they were in, someone started having the whatever, the coronavirus, and they started turning off the elevators and like turning the public transportation's turned off. Everything just turns off, right? Shops are closed. They said they got enough food and water for 6 weeks stored in their apartment, and then they found someone in the same apartment complex had the coronavirus. They're like, yeah, right, we're out of here. So they got to the airport within like a couple hours and went back to Sweden, and it wasn't. But like the next day, they started closing down the airport stuff. A lot of the public transportations can't go anywhere. So they made it out. Angela Park. I don't want a name. Have to look out for wild animals. Okay, so you want a place that doesn't have wild animals. They're like scary wild animals. Maybe that's what she's asking about. Like bears and lions and tigers and elephants or something. I mean, it's vacant land without animals. There's different animals all across the country if you look for them hard enough. I mean, it's in the north you have snow, in the south you have rodents, and in between, in both of them, you still have animals. I don't know. I shouldn't laugh, but that's going to be a hard one. Find a place without animals. I think you're better off like in a big city. You're still going to have animals in the city. It's a 20 acres I want. Okay, Redefine Living's looking at the 20 acres. Yeah, I mean, I could ask the guy that's the main guy that's selling it is my neighbor in my last house, and he's good friend of mine. I'll ask him if he wants to do payments, if he's up for payments. Maybe he could tell me what kind of payments you want to do so I could present it to him, and he might go for it. Ringo Starr, hey Luke, long time no see. Thanks guys. Williams, hey, are you going to keep the video posted after the live stream is done? I hope so. Lots of info. Yeah. So it's recorded on YouTube. It's if you go on my YouTube channel and you look at the live videos, there's a log of years and years of live videos on there. I don't think they count as like the video count. So there's regular videos and then the live videos. So they're kind of separated, and you can go in and look at them all. So you go back. Recommended amounts to start out doing what you do. Okay, Nakeem Morgan, he's asking good questions here about doing land deals. I mean, Nakeem, I started out buying properties. The first mailers I did, I mailed out offers for like, 126 bucks. Like, it's a desert square. Like, who wants that land, right? Uh, I figured if I'm going to buy desert, I might as well buy it by the river. So I mailed the ones by the Colorado River in like Mojave County, Arizona. I was like, it's Arizona, it's by the river, it'll be cheap. And I heard this thing like you should pay $100 an acre for land in the desert. It's like, okay. So I started mailing $100 an acre. 1.26 acres gets $126 bid. And so I started mailing them, and I couldn't figure out how to like get the envelopes to print. I thought I could do a mail merge to like get the envelopes to print, and I know you can, but I was just starting out. I couldn't figure it out. I had made like 100 of them, 100 letters. I got a mail merge together. I'm like 100 offers. This is gonna be cool. So I mailed these things out, and I hand wrote them because I couldn't figure out how to get the printer. It's like it's faster to just write them. I hand wrote them. I hand wrote my return address on there, and I put a reply envelope in there so that people could get back to me. And I made a little thing, a price, and they could sign it and stick it in a return envelope and send it back to me. I printed the return envelope. I figured that because it's not mail merge. That was easy enough to print. I didn't put postage on there. It says like, please put a stamp here. People still put them in the mail with no stamp, and I still got them. It's like, cool. And they signed it, and they said, go to hell. They said a lot of bad stuff I shouldn't say on the live show. And it's like, they read my letter? Like, really? They read my letter. And I kept track of them, 100 offers. I had 40 people get back to me, either by phone, by email, by fax. You gotta put a fax number on there. And mail. Like, 40 out of 100 of the people told me to bugger off and how stupid I was in all kinds of different ways. It's like, wow, these guys read my mail. A lot of them read it. Really, really read it. So I figured some of them are asking questions. I got to answer those questions in the letter. Other ones are like, most of them just hate my price. And it's like, well, I can always change the price. And but they read my letter. So I almost fell out of my chair like when they started getting back to me. So I got more accurate. I started buying some education. There's a link in the video below in the description of this video to landacademy.com. And Land Academy was a big help. And they are a great help. And they have like a letter that answers all the questions these people are asking me right out of the gate. So you don't have to take all those calls and communications anymore. I started learning 40% response rate. It's pretty bad. You don't want to talk to all those people. You'd rather they just throw it away if they're not going to sell to you. So you get the response rate back down there to like 5% or 3% or something, and buy like less than 1% of the properties. That's a lot more manageable. When you answer a lot of questions out of the gate, you have to deal with a lot of the mess. And so, yeah. But I'm dancing around. How much did I start with? So how much money do you start out? I mean, I started making those $100 offers, and the mail, like, what does 100 pieces of mail cost? It's not much of anything. And I started sending out like 500 offers. I started figuring out how to get the printer to print like the addresses so I could do them faster. And I stopped putting reply envelopes in there. And I started offering $500 instead of, $100. $500 is enough for people to like respond and take you serious on the right kind of property. A lot of properties aren't even worth $500, but you offer $500 and you can go buy properties at $500, and people start selling you properties. So $500, you could buy $500 properties, and you pay for postage, and yeah, you're in business. So, I mean, I would highly recommend you start with a lot more than that and go for a lot better properties, because it's dealing with those properties is not the most entertaining trade in the world. Ambrit's Lawn Care says, hello, Luke. Are you looking to buy in California Valley, the Carrizo Plains? Is that the backside of San Luis Obispo? Is that where that's at? No, I don't want that land. If that's the right neighborhood, I mean, that stuff, you could probably buy that $500 all day long for those properties. If I'm thinking of the right ones. Jeff Hinckley, hello all, bless you. Good luck selling and buying for 500, selling for 200, right? You don't want that business. If I'm thinking of the right properties. Angela Park, right? Yeah, gone prospecting. A 12-foot chain link fence will keep most game animals off your land. There you go. Things like grouse and rabbits and squirrels, you're stuck with. Yeah, and rats and mice and gophers and good luck. Some people have spent their life trying to figure out how to get rid of some of those. Baked beans and toast. Thanks. Luke, I'll check out the Arkansas listings. Yeah, there we go. Just look at the maps. Look, we've got the map list, the map search on ruralvacantland.com. You can zoom in, you can follow streams, you see the ones that are on streams. Um, we're looking for something wooded that's off grid, tiny, um, LGBT friendly. My sister can feel comfortable. We'd really like Cali if possible, even if it wasn't rural. Only way is if it's I get these messages popping up in front of the messages. Yeah, if you're looking for LGBT, I mean, you're probably a lot better off in California than lots of states. And especially like the west half of California or the west quarter of California more so, even more so than the backside of California is not even as much. Um, and then that's where the prices just go, because a lot of people want to live there that can pay, and they do. I'm trying to find unrestricted land with no build restrictions or time limits to build, like something within an hour or so and a half a major city. That's my goal. Yeah, so guys, I love these questions. They're getting really precise about which specific property and multiple levels of detail. And I was gonna go do a mailer. Let's work on a mailer today, and looking at figuring out the specific property. It's gonna be more of you're gonna have to go see where LBGT communities are, like Southern Florida, right? Like not even all Southern Florida, just tiny pockets of Southern Florida. Um, and it's going to be where the prices are the craziest. Uh, it's just the way it is. Like you're going to have to filter through a lot of those and take a look at the price versus what's there, and just go figure it out. Hi, Luke and fellow listeners. Yeah, how do you feel? How do you feel the land business will do during recession? Very good question. Nakeem Morgan keeps sticking the good questions in here. How do I feel the land business will do during recession? I think the term side of land, like selling it on payments, is like goodbye. Like those people stop making payments. I mean, they just stop making payments. Don't rely on the payments. Um, in the payments in general. So what I'm saying is a lot of people want to buy land on payments because it's very hard to finance land. Historically, it's been hard. It's getting a lot easier now to finance land, to purchase land on finance through the banks and other alternative financiers because interest rates are really low right now. A lot of people are looking for yield. They're much more willing to loan on land than any time in the past. But generally, a lot of the land buyers ask for terms, as they should. I think it's a great way to go for the buyer. And the buyer is like, kind of put down $100 or $500 or $1,000 or whatever and get a piece of land, and then can I make payments over time to pay off the land. And you got to understand where they're coming from when it comes to go build a piece of land or build on the land. Whatever you're doing, everything is capital intensive when it comes to land. Like you're hooking up the utilities, you're creating utilities, to getting past all the bureaucracy. I mean, lots of times the price of the property just doubles when you cook the bureaucracy in there. A lot of people don't understand how much they got to pay for permits and fees and plans and the bureaucracy side of it, right? A lot of the bigger builders just use that rule of thumb: double the price of land. That's like your real cost of the land. Land's $50,000. Okay, it's gonna be $50,000 for the land, $50,000 for permits and fees and hookup connections stuff, like that kind of stuff, before you can actually build there. And none of those fees and permits and things are financeable. Like they all want cash. You drill a water well, the guy wants cash. You're going to build a driveway, the guy wants cash. Everybody wants cash. And so the person going to homestead on these properties has a high acute need for cash all the way through the development process of this property before they can really live there legally in most parts of the country. Some places are a lot easier, but generally speaking, it's there's a bunch of hoops to jump through before you can move in. And so the more they can spread around that hurdle of money, the easier it is to pull it off. And so people are always asking the land dealer, the land seller for terms. I mean, I'll probably get 5 or 10 people asking for terms in every property before everyone pays cash. And I don't accept them all. Like I've been getting pickier and pickier with them over time. And it's because what I've experienced is, I mean, this changed summer before last, I think. It started changing. Like the default rate started going up a lot on the properties the last year and a half or so. And I don't have a direct correlation of why. Maybe it's because I jumped up with lots and lots of terms deals. I mean, I had a couple hundred properties sold on terms, and juggling them all, keeping track of them all is always a job, right? But the statistics on it were like 50% of the people that started doing terms deals with me were like MIA by month three. Month three, not like month 12 or 15. Like they'd do a down payment, they'd put in, the first month's payment, second month's payment, third month's payment, maybe. By then they change their mind. They start figuring out how much it's going to cost, how much time it's going to take to develop the property, and they give up. A lot of them just give up, and they say, just keep the money and the property. I'm not going to do this anymore, and or they just disappear. It's like, hello, are you in prison or something? Trying to get a hold of these people, they just go ghost on you and you can't find them. And it's like, can we work this out? Can we find some other way of making this happen or whatever? And they just disappear. So that's a lot of that runaround in the land dealing business can be avoided if you just settle with cash trades or really close to cash trades, like settling in a short amount of time. And I'd like to do more of that going forward in the future with my trades. There's still a lot of people on the website that are selling on terms that love it and go for it, make a business out of it, and I think that's great. There's different buyers and sellers, different opinions. That's what makes a healthier market. So if you're scared about the terms or the business crashing in the bad markets, I would say really, really, really don't do terms. Don't end up with a portfolio of people paying you on terms, because I think that's going to really dry up in a crash in the marketplace, and they're just gonna go away. They're gonna really, really go away. Yeah, you still got the land, but you got to go sell it again. I think the higher quality land you get into, the better, the more it's going to hold up in bad times. I think like beachfront, waterfront, properties that you could develop into multifamily properties, commercial properties, properties that are not so much aligned to go camping on or be luxury properties like a second or third property that somebody might buy. I think those are going to be highly susceptible to crashes in the marketplace. And you could go after stuff like I'm thinking in some of these mailers I'm going to do, maybe not today, but in future mailers. I want to hit land that has stuff on it that is not valued, underutilized land, basically. So land, let's say there's a 600 square foot house on the beach, and the neighbors' houses are, 5,000 square foot houses. That 600 square foot house is probably cute and it's probably awesome. It's totally usable and everything. But when it comes to selling it, good luck. And Luke Smith comes along with a bid for the land. I'm thinking about the land, right? I care more about the land and the usefulness of that land. I don't care about the house or doing a tour or anything. Just buy the land, and I could sell that land to somebody who wants to build a 5,000 square foot McMansion overlooking the beach and the water and I like water, and that kind of trade. I think it'd probably crash in the down times too, but if you buy it at the right price, maybe you lose your profits. Maybe you get a haircut. Maybe it doesn't sell as fast. Maybe you got to end up selling it on terms in the down market. I think you're in the driver's seat when you're on the cash side of this trade, buying and selling, and keep going up and up and up in quality of assets, which everybody should be doing in all regards of their life, when it comes to places to live and what vehicles you drive, or what kinds of things you invest in. Investing in, I think, means a lot more than the vehicles you drive and stuff like that. But with employees, with vendors, but the assets that you own, the businesses that you own, the cash flows that you have bringing money in, like you always want to trade those up to something better, something that pays more, something that's more stable, something that's higher quality. And I think the more you can do that ahead of a crash in the market, the better. I think if you just worry about the crash in the market and don't do it because the crash is coming, I think that's going to be really hard to get anywhere in business doing that as well too. I think you might be able to trade flip 5, 10 times before the crash happens. Yeah, the one that you're holding on to, you might get cut in half on the money you put up. But if you look back at all the flips where that money came from before it, you're probably still way ahead. Now, if you're the poor guy that starts the day before the crash, yeah, it's not going to happen so well. But I think flipping into it could be a better solution. It's just my opinion. Okay, so a bunch of questions there. Questions are slowing down. Yeah, EOWOW1 says I've heard it set up 70% disappear after only 4 payments. Yeah. I don't know about 50%. I didn't experience 50 or 70%. I didn't experience 70% of the terms people disappearing after 4 payments. The number that I was really looking at was the 3 payments. The third payment seems to be the deciding factor if they're going to stick around or not. For me, after 12 months, it was down to like 40%. So it was pretty harmonic between month 3 and month 12. Like you don't lose that many people between month 3 and month 12. In my history, or the kinds of trades I was into, I had a couple hundred properties sold under terms when that really started falling down on me. It was just so many people skipping and disappearing on the payments that I started studying the numbers, which I think the numbers were happening before. It's just I didn't study them close enough until like I had waves of people disappearing in given months. I think I'm getting all this money coming in and it doesn't happen. It's like, where'd they go? So yeah, and I think those numbers would be better if you ask for more money down in the beginning. If you require the people to go look at the properties before they start signing up to payments. If you just ask them, like, go there, take a look at it, send me a picture before we start these payments. Do you really like this thing? Did you like go to the local grocery store and stuff? You found one? Like there's a gas station that you can make it to and back in 1 tank of gas? I mean, just like some basics, like you're really gonna go for it and use this property. Like if you put a little bit of a hoop like that in front of the person that's trying to sign out with payments, I think that just weeds out the ones that aren't going to pay right there. Like they won't do that one little tiny thing of just obvious due diligence that they should be doing. And yeah, I think the other side of it is I started having people. I started asking people to sign a contract. So they buy it off the website, and I had stuff paperwork in the past, but this new one that I'm having people do the last month or two, it says I've seen the property, and it says I like it, and I understand there might be, and I list a whole bunch of things that might be wrong that that I've had people say they want to return the property for, like real life scenarios. I put a whole bunch of stuff in the contract, and it says, I'm not going to ask for a refund. I'm not going to. These are people that bought for cash, even, because people come back and they want a refund later on, and they do terms or cash, and then they want a refund when they can't sell the property to the next person. And I don't think that's fair. Like if you're buying these properties to go resell them, great, more power to you. But if you buy 10 of them and then 2 of them don't sell, and you just ask for a refund, you want to stick them back to me. I mean, I take them back and I take them back, and then you go buy another 10 and you do it to me again and again. Like, I don't think that's cool either. So I got in there, no more refunds, because people are they're buying them, trying to resell them, and then they don't resell, or they don't resell well, and then they stick it back to me. Like I'm not backstopping their trades. I don't have the money to do that. Okay, so I guess land will be always worth something no matter what. Can't say the same for a stock in a company. Yeah. It's always worth something, but I wouldn't say no matter what. The rules change on some of these properties, and the zoning makes it so you like can't use the property. I was reading an article last night about like a 97-year-old lady who bought this property like 50 years ago in wherever in New York, and it was a 50-foot wide property, and they created 25-foot setbacks off the sides. Excuse me, try not to sneeze again. And they created these setbacks in 1988. And so now the lady wants to build a house. She's 97 years old. She wants to build a house. She's finally got her money saved up. She's ready to go. She wants to build a house. She's like, what do you mean? I live in a different state. You never told me that you're like going to change the rules on me. And you effectively took the property away from me. It's a 50-foot wide place. There's houses next door they built before the 1988 rules. Now I want to build and I can't build because I need 25-foot setbacks on both sides and it's a 50-foot wide property. Like, the rules change. These zoning rules come through and they're like, well, everybody voted on it. We sent out notices, so we had a local hearing. And she's like, well, I'm not local. You posted in the local newspaper. I live in the next state over. I don't read your local newspaper. It's just like big battle. Like the lawyers came out and they're going for it, fighting for the 97-year-old lady and her value of the property. Which I think she's right. She should be able to build on the property, and the local bureaucrats should grandfather her in or something. But they're fighting her. I was surprised to learn the Horseshoe Bend. So this is Yoel. I was surprised to learn the Horseshoe Bend, Arkansas land development was put in way back in 1963. Yeah, so a lot of those developments in Arkansas were like 60s, and it's really cool because the rules they created back then were, I mean, you could write it on a napkin. Like the rules they're not zero, but they're like this. Compared to the new ones that are created today, it's like a phone book of rules. More stuff goes wrong, more rules people come up with, and they stick them on the next neighborhood. So those are really easy to use neighborhoods and easy to understand the rules. It's usually about square footage. They want you to build something on the property that's got at least a whatever square footage, right? Yeah, so Amber's Lawn Care says, you're right, the backside of Slow. What's your opinion on that area? Okay, so Amber's Lawn Care is asking about this part of San Luis Obispo County. And so the backside of San Luis Obispo County, it goes down in a valley. He named the valley. I forget the name of the valley. Carrizo Ranches or something. And if you look if we pull up Zillow right now, you'd see just like a whole bunch of pins, like everything's for sale. And if you look at the time on market, it's like broken. It's been up for sale forever. And so like the whole place has been for sale forever, and the dollar prices are like less than title, or less than title would charge to trade the thing. So it's just broken. It's just a broken market, and nobody wants to buy them. And if you go to the county and you ask, they're like, well, you can't develop there because you got to have water. And they're like, okay, how do I get water? Well, you got to, some crazy expenditure to get water in there. And then like, well, what if I, no. They give you a whole bunch of reasons why you can't develop stuff there. Not that particular neighborhood. I just saw the pricing on it, so I didn't buy any land there. But other parts of the county that people did get back to me and say they would sell their land to me. I went and talked to the county. I was doing my due diligence. Can I actually build on this? And they're like, well, you can't build there. That's got like the furry-footed fox or whatever. Oh, you can't build there. You got to have a road that gets back there that's got fire truck access and ambulance access. And there's, the easement's straight. It's dead straight easement through all the mountains. And so it's got legal access, but building a real road down that easement when the hills go like this, and the road should be doing this thing with the topography, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, that's why everyone wants to sell to me. And even if you did build a road, you got to go through the environmental furry-footed rodent whatever stories they had. So there's a lot of pieces of San Luis Obispo County that are just like environmentally protected. And then above and beyond that, San Luis Obispo County wants to keep it rural, right? They want to keep it country, keep the country country. And I love San Luis Obispo; it's beautiful and everything. But they created some laws that have a like a dribble effect of building permits. And so, if you buy land and you want to go build a house or build an apartment complex or build whatever it is you want to build, you go through all the regulations. Like, yeah, you can. It's got water, it's got access, it's got it's got all that stuff that would allow you to build. The zoning allows you and everything. Let's go get a building permit. Oh, it's December. Like, we ran out of building permits on like January 7th. What do you mean? It's like, what? They have quotas, and so you got to be there like January 1, and like wait in line for the doors to open. Maybe if you're like the first one through the door and you hand in all the paperwork and all your paperwork is just perfect for your building permit, maybe you'll get through there and you'll get under the quota to be able to build whatever it is you want to build. The people behind you probably have been trying the last couple of years, and every time they said you got to update the paperwork and you got to fix this and you fix that and come back later. Yeah, your window's closed then, and so you got to like jam it through that window to be able to build. And so they've got those quotas going on there that make it really hard. And so yeah, be careful in that county. And those quotas are not countywide; they're like neighborhood by neighborhood or area by area. And some of the areas have like zero quota, like no more building, and all the zoning, everything works out, but there's no building quota. Good luck with that one. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Gone prospecting. It's 2020. Even Coeur d'Alene, Idaho has a popular LGBT bar called Mick and Max. Nice. Maybe times are getting better. I mean, I can't even say it. LGBT community. I mean, it should be accepted everywhere. But I mean, they still got like the black movement in the South, and a lot of people still don't accept that. And it's been like before my times, that civil rights movement started happening. It's not that these people are not accepted in lots of places. It's just that it's going to be easier in some places than others. Like California, you go to restaurants and stuff, and they've got all gender bathrooms. You go to other places, like I was in Florida last weekend. You go to the bathroom, they still have like male and female bathrooms. There's like a line for the female bathroom and like no line for the male bathroom. I love it because there's no line, but I'm used to the California ones where it doesn't really matter, right? You just take whichever one's available. It's yeah, some places are more set up for it than others. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at the comments for a little bit. Let's jump into questions about mailers. Cool. Questions about land. Let's save it for another time, or call my office. Like I got a bunch of people answering the phones. Jessica probably get you, or Gillian, or Chi, or Cheryl, or there's other ones I can't think of right now, which is probably really embarrassing, but they'll answer stuff. So I've got a little over an hour before I got to get the kids. So this might take a while. You might want to look at the recorded version and go forward and reverse and stuff. But and it might not work at all. And so a lot of these mailers, I start crunching data. I got this idea, right? It's an idea. It doesn't mean it's going to work. And I go into the data, and the data doesn't work for the idea at all. I'm like, oh man, maybe I'm doing it in the wrong area, or I should go somewhere else. Or other times it's like, oh, it works great. Oh, we only got a couple hundred mailers. Or, oh, it works great. Holy cow, we got 30,000 mailers. Like, that's, I got to get more accurate than that. So, but here's the idea. I got my hit list here, my notes. I'm not going to show those to you. But I tried to rank a bunch of different ones. I mean, I got like maybe 35 or 40 different mailer ideas that I've written down here that I want to do. I started ranking them, and my top ones are getting scratched off. And so next up is I want to go to Kitsap County. So let's pull up a map here. I'll show you what Kitsap County is. I like these Washington County map. I like these geology ones. Oh, come on. Okay, so here we got the colorful map in the background. So here's Washington, the state of Washington. I don't give two hoots about this side. This is probably where all the big acreage and trees and stuff are and everything. But the market's way over here. And let's see. Yeah, there we go. Let me just change the screen around. Okay, so the market's over here. We've got Seattle right here. Seattle's crazy like market right now, but it's not just Seattle. It's spilling into this whole area. I mean, this whole area has got like, if you look at the statistics, it's hot, 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 hot. And if you look at what's sold, it's like, looks like the whole place has been sold. And if you look at what's for sale, it's like, oh, I can't find them. Like the stuff for sale is not there. The stuff that's sold's everywhere. And there's still properties in between that people haven't bought and sold in a long time. So if we pull data on these areas, if we get that far in today's mailer before I got to go get the kids, you'll see, and this is because I've done this on hundreds of mailers, you'll see that maybe 40%, maybe in this area, of the properties in that data have traded since like, computers happened in the 70s or something. And so, I mean, computers started happening after that, but they digitized back a ways and got a lot of this digitized in the computer so we can see the data from like usually the 70s, sometimes the 80s, but usually the 70s. And so if the thing hasn't traded since like the 70s, the people that own it have owned it for a long time. And their sense of price is usually like, they don't have that pain point. Like, I just paid $1 million for this property. Now I'm going to sell it to you for 400,000. Like, no, that's not going to happen. I just had one. I'm working on a deal right now. The guy just paid $1.25 million for the property, and he agreed to sell it to me for 400,000. It looks friggin' awesome. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take a loss." He bought it just before the market crashed, and he's been holding on to it through the crash, and market started coming back around some, and now he's willing to sell it. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to close on it because of some other things, but probably will. So I shouldn't say that never happens. It happens because we're doing statistics and we're putting it out there. You don't get what you want unless you ask for it, right? So this is Kitsap County. This county here, this is a peninsula in the middle here, and they've got some different towns in this county. I've mailed the hell out of this county for vacant land. I've mailed it for all the coastal properties and the mobile homes. I haven't mailed it for houses yet. I might do that. And maybe I'll do that today. Like, I haven't specifically targeted the towns. So what we're going to do today is target the towns, because the realtor guy that's hopping, dancing, and doing stuff for me over there says if I had some lots in these towns, they'd be gone. Luke, give me some lots in the towns. I'm like, okay. So we're going after some town lots, and so there's not that many towns over here. Kitsap County. Comprises the Bremerton Silverdale area, metropolitan. Okay, so also includes blah blah blah. So let's just get a map. So there's a couple towns. There's Port Orchard. I know I want to hit Port Orchard. There's Bremerton, Polesbo. I want to hit those ones. Port Orchard, Bremerton, Silverdale, Polesbo. Maybe Port Gamble. So I want to map out what the towns are in this county that I want to hit. So I know I want to do Port Orchard. Port Orchard's hopping. Bremerton is hopping. I don't know so much about Silverdale. Those are the main ones. And there's something up north here. This town. I'm just writing these down. And so this is a lot of doing a mailer. Got an idea, and then it's about how to implement the idea. So we're going to try to get this data into, I don't know if Port Gamble's not enough of a town. Kingston. Let's try Kingston. So we're trying to boil this data down and use the search in a way that we can just ask for specifically the kinds of properties we want. So what I'm trying to ask for today is vacant lots in these towns that are like in the cities. So they should have the utilities, they should have, these are the kinds of properties I've been scared of making offers on in the past because they take a lot of due diligence to pull off. I mean, there's a guy that's part of the land community. He's called Mike Marshall, and he puts together a product that I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but he's got a website and he will go parcel research. I can't think of it. If you know the name of Mike Marshall's service, you put it in the comments or the chat. It'd be awesome. But he's got this website and this service. He works for the city of Los Angeles, and he in the zoning department, and so he gets to know a lot about the zoning and issues in the city of Los Angeles, and he's done the same kind of thing in Texas and other parts of the country in the past. He's worked with zoning in lots of different areas, so he knows a lot about zoning and use of properties because people are always coming to him, and asking like, can I build on this property? So he's always researching the properties and trying to figure it out and give him his opinion and help the city regulate it a little bit. And so he started coming up with these reports. Like you can go and infill lot report. I think that's the name of his service. So if you have a lot in town like this that's got like houses on either side and it's got like a power line and utilities in the street, that kind of lot, like a classic infill lot. You could hire this guy and he costs like $1,500 or something. You pay him $1,500 and he'll go research the hell out of that property and try to figure out if you can build on it or not and give you this report. You can take this report, when you sell the property, you can put this report with it. It says Mike Marshall's service over here says that it's good to go because bing, 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 all the stuff that they research. So you don't have to go research that stuff when it comes to doing due diligence to buying the property. It's already been done. It's like, boom. So me as an investor going to buy the properties, I could hire Mike Marshall to go research the properties and get to know it really well and figure it out. Or I could be a Luke Smith, dodo head over here and try to figure it out on my own, which I've tried to do on multiple ones. It's just, it's not very efficient. Or I could get a local person that really knows the heck out of that market and what's going on there, and I could send him over, or her, or whoever over there to figure it out. And so I think I might end up doing a combination of the two, depending on the property and the specificity or the specifics of that property. Might hire Mike Marshall on some of them, and if I feel like I'm getting in over my head, or and the numbers look really nice on it, and it makes sense to pay the $1,500, then go for that. Otherwise, I'll use the local guy that I'm working with here to go figure them out and make it happen. So if we figure out the property and it looks good, it looks like we could sell it for a bunch more than we're buying it for, then we'll go. We'll buy it and put it up for sale. And the local guy here will be my realtor. He'll go sell it and put it up for sale. He'll probably even cut the grass in the meantime, so you don't have to pay for that. I mean, I'll have to pay him, but he'll make it happen. Like all that stuff. He'll just make all the details of the trade happen, right? So I love having that in this area, and that's why we're targeting this area. So the idea of hitting these towns, like I know Port Orchard, Bremerton, Poulsbo, and Kingston. Not so sure about Kingston, but we'll try it. So I think one way I could target these areas is by zip code. So the data has zip code data, like situs zip code, like the location of the property zip code. That might be accurate enough to work here. The other way that we might be able to search is by like the situs address, like the city. So if we put the city in there, we just get the ones that are in that city. That could work. So this doesn't look like it's going to work. Zip code is not just the town, it's the whole area. And I don't want to do that. Port Orchard, where's Port Orchard? Wherever Port Orchard went on here, it's probably going to be the same thing. These zip codes are not accurate enough. I think Port Orchard's down here. There's Bremerton, here's Port Orchard. So maybe Bremerton could be used as a zip code. And this is kind of close, but it's not. Like, it's more than just the town. Like, the town might... So I don't think zip code's going to be close enough. So I think we're going to be over here looking at... Let's see if we can find something... this is the wrong state. Let's see if we can find something about this, the location's city. So if we can get the city to work, then we can dial in what kind of stuff we want in that city. So we've got all these different things we can search by. This is a very robust database that CoreLogic has, RealQuest Pro. It's all about figuring out how to use it, right? So it's a total database searching. It's not very user friendly. But let's just look at, so we got the mailing address. I want the mailing address. I want the actual location. Owners. So one thing, another we could do, they've got a radius distance from subject. So if we found a property that's like in the middle and then we did a certain radius around that, that could be one way we'd hit the city. It wouldn't be as accurate as if they had the actual city on there. So I'll just keep that in mind, but I think if we have the, I don't know what it's going to be called, like, oh, site address full. Site address full, oh, site, street name, suffix, post. Let's play with this a little bit. So I can go street by street. That's the street. It has nothing to do with the city. Site carrier route. Site city. Here we go. Site city. Nice. Okay. So I've never used this piece of the database, properties in the county, to some smaller subset that I can make an offer on, right? So I want to make a cash offer. So I want to, the more I narrow it down, the easier it's going to be to spell it right. Probably didn't, but whatever. Okay. So let's see what happens. Let's take that. There's got a space in there. Yeah, I think I got it spelled right. So we'll see if any of these properties in the county are in the city of Port Orchard. Oh, things going. And so the more constraints we put on this data, the smaller number we should get. Some big numbers going on up here. 14,000, 16, vacant, built, whatever. We're at 22,000, 20. We're going to max out at the 25,000 this thing goes to. Yeah, so it's cool. So Port Orchard works. Let's see if Bremerton works. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple tests with the different cities before I add in the other stuff. And I'm going to see that each city actually hits. Like if I spell the city wrong, or it's got like, I don't know, the one in the database might have a, I don't know, something different going on. And I'll be searching for a city that's not working if I don't know. So I'm going to put Port Orchard works, Bremerton, let's see, let's see if Bremerton works. See, there's comments going by while we're bro dude. I'm gonna mess that up again. It says mailers, woohoo! Yeah. Thanks, Luke. The information is much appreciated. Yes, the Crizzle plane. The hiking is insane. Nice. Oh, Evelyn, I thought you said you received an offer on your land. I received a letter from your office regarding a piece of land I won from your channel. I signed the paperwork and sent it out. If the offer is accepted, I would love for you to sell it for me. Cool. Thank you, Evelyn. So, yeah, on the land that I promised to give away in the past, so last week or the week before, just recently, I caught up on all of those. So all the properties that I've agreed to give away in the past, I've got the paperwork out on. Now, some of them I'm sure will get rejected and something will go wrong and I'll have to fix it from there. So if you get a letter or you get some rejection or whatever, let me know and we'll fix it from there. But for right now, they're all getting processed and we should get some land and then we'll figure out what to do with it, right? I was talking to the state for another person today and got a house, $50. So these properties is paying $50 for these properties, right? I don't usually say that on the channel. You see the prices go by when I give you the land. But it's two properties next to each other and negotiated $50 for each property. And there's a house that goes like from one to the other. And I was just updating the guy that put the money up for it this morning. It's like, you got a house for $100 and we'll see what we can sell it for. So those are always fun. I mean, some of those I sold for like 15 grand, I'll buy it for $50, sell it for 15 grand. That's really hard to pull off in volume, but I mean, 5 grand, 10 grand, 3 grand, 2 grand, $500. I like the 500. Buy for $50, sell for $500. I like those better because you can do much more volume of those. They're a lot more repeatable. I don't know what's going on. They're not finding Bremerton. Let's see, Bremerton. 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 Let's go start over. Site City. I'm going to write that down. See, the search says site, and then when you get the database, it says situs. It doesn't line up. Bremerton. 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 Come on. Find it this time, guys. Oh, it just maxed out at 25. So Bremerton works. 25,000. Okay, so we're going to do, there shouldn't be 25 Polsbo. Poulsbo. Polsbo. I'm horrible at spelling. So when I put it into a database and it's like searching and it's not Google correcting stuff for me, I could get in trouble there. Okay. Amber's, yeah. Bordeaux. Bodou says, yeah, it's really sad passing places that we're going to build and now they are just abandoned. We pass a place that was going to be developed on the way to Quinlan, Texas, and it has a really nice short stone wall with gates and the name of the entrance, and just overgrown and never got developed. Sad. There's a lot of that in the U.S. or in lots of parts of the country, lots of parts of the world. You go to a lot of third world countries and you see these half-built places and it's like, wow, why don't they just build it? And you talk to locals, it's because they don't use financing. They make money, they buy concrete, they buy rebar, they buy the ingredients as they go, and they just keep adding on. It could take years and years and years and years to build the place. It's their dream. They're working out along the way. They don't save up all the money to just build, or they don't go to the bank to finance it, to just build it and bang it out in a certain timeline. So I think we lose track of that kind of reality a lot living in the U.S., but a lot of stuff just doesn't happen BJ sells land. Do you use infill lot reports, Luke? Mike Marshall's thing. I have not. I started working on infill lots before Mike Marshall really started making those reports. And Land Academy was promoting infill lots. I'm like, that's a great idea. Those should be easy to price. So I gave it a try. You know, lots of things in life. You give it a try and see what happens. And they started coming back, and it's like, I keep finding things that's wrong. Like, of course they took my offer. It's like I can't sell that property. It's got this problem and that problem and that problem and that problem. And no, I'm not going to get stuck with that thing. And so I'm sending out crazy amounts of mailers, and I'm getting like the junkiest properties. Now, I think a lot of it's my fault because I priced them so low. If I would have priced them a little closer to reality, I would have got better deals to choose from. Which brings me to another topic that I've been thinking about a lot recently, is the pricing on these properties. Like, yeah, we're talking about buying a property for $50 and selling it for $2,000 or $5,000 or whatever. And yeah, that's fun. That's great. Numbers are insane. Like, awesome, awesome, awesome. But I would much rather buy a property for $100,000 and sell it for $125,000. Yeah, 25% return on your money. But the people you deal with are a lot easier to deal with. The trade can happen a lot faster. I mean, they actually go build on it. Like, they're actually using the property. It's not like the dreams turn into a lot more reality, I think is one way to say it. And I think that's much more of a real trade. And I think by offering more money for the properties, you get a lot more acceptances, like a lot more money, not just more dollars, but a closer, higher percentage to what the stuff's trading for in the marketplace. And I have a theory. I haven't tested it yet, but I think buying stuff, really good stuff, at 90 cents on the dollar and selling it for 95 cents on the dollar probably makes more money than making the offers at 80 cents on the dollar and selling them for 90 cents on the dollar. Like, you're going to deal with a lot better quality deals. You're going to get a lot more stuff accepted. You're just going to have to be much more willing to pass on a whole bunch of stuff that gets accepted and just like cherry pick the awesome, awesome, awesome ones. And they're going to go faster. You're going to do a lot more volume, and you're going to make a lot more money. But some version of that, I'm working more towards that version. One of these last mailers we just did, we're offering more like 60 cents on the dollar, but it's all waterfront stuff. And I think, the mailers just went out. I haven't seen the results yet, but I think that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, we'll see. So the question was, have I been using Mike Marshall's thing? No, because I think I got burned on a lot of those infill lots out of the gate. Had I been paying Mike Marshall to police them, I wouldn't have bought some of that stuff, and would have got more accurate. But I wasn't offering enough money to get the really good properties consistently. And I think I've learned more now, and I'll be more consistent at offering more money to get better quality properties, doing the due diligence in a much higher form of due diligence to cherry pick the best properties. And part of that could be paying Mike Marshall to get his report. BJ sells land. How do you find your local realtor? What do you look for? Do you worry about them deal stealing if they're helping you with due diligence before you close? Of course. They could steal my deals. They'd make a lot more money if they didn't steal my deal and they just sold a bunch of the properties I jammed through. Like, I would like to hit vacant land in the area, bigger vacant land in the area, better vacant land in the area, waterfront vacant land, commercial vacant land, multifamily vacant land, mobile homes, old mobile homes, new mobile homes, office complexes, multifamily buildings. Like, we can go deep. If we get a good boots on the ground guy And that's just wave one. I can hit those again and again and again, and I've got databases that keep track of it all. I can see what their replies are. They're like, no at this price, but yes at this price. I've got that data. Like these people just yell and scream. Like we don't have to mail them anymore, But these people, we could offer them more. We could offer them 20% more than we just did. We know it sells way up here. If we, like if I get on the screen, it sells up here and we bought down here last time. This time let's buy here and sell it up here. Oh, that worked pretty good too. Now let's buy here and sell it up here. And every time we step into it, we're going to know more and more and more. We got better data than everybody else in the marketplace. We know what everyone's responses are, what they're willing to sell at, right? That are willing to sell. And we can just take that market to town. And so a good boots on the ground person, I think, will understand that and not steal a deal. If they steal a deal, that's just I'd rather they did it right out of the gate and I'd just move on. Yeah. Because going deeper in lots of these, I mean, the commissions they can make off some of the bigger dollar properties are probably more than they make off the trade of one of these things. So, yeah, I'm not so worried about it. It's just part of doing business. Clarion Shell. Hey, Luke, I bought some lots from COS, so I think it's Commissioner of State Lands in Arkansas, and sold them on eBay, and buyers are not paying. If you had this issue. Sorry, I'm laughing. Yeah, of course. That's eBay. So there's no way to police the buyers on eBay. You could try to ask for people that have maybe 10 good comments or something, or like you're not going to close the auction down or accept the auction if they have no history and they just opened the account last week and now they're bidding on your property. It's probably just somebody else trying to sell Arkansas properties too. They're just making up fake accounts and screwing up the competition. So if any bids come through, they go to their properties instead of yours. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff's happening on eBay. A lot of people have moved away from selling properties on eBay. But I'm sure some of them paid. So you probably just got to keep throwing it at the wall and see how many times you got to put up there for sale before somebody actually pays. Thanks. I'm excited. Okay. I was stuck in Bremerton once with Navy and did not see the sun for weeks until I got back to San Diego. Yo, wow, there you go. Yep. I mean, it's a different culture. I'm not saying it's sunny there, but people sure buy stuff fast. I see the vision. Okay, cool. So this report, 13,000 in Poulsbo. Poulsbo's working. Let's see if Kingston's working. And so jumping this data around here. Kingston. Kingston. I'm spoiled. Technology usually spells everything for me. You get in here and it's like, it's old fashioned. Wish you had a drop down list of all the choices from this particular county would be nice. Like, oh, there you go. Or they spelled Kingston 3 different ways. The people of the county spell like Luke Smith. 5,000 records. Okay. So the other thing I'm just going to do here for entertainment is let's do Redfin data center. Let's go back to that APN schema thingy. And so Bremerton is 98310. Port Orchard is this one, 98366. 98366. Poulsbo, whatever, 98383. 98383. Kingston, where's Kingston's over here or something? Or Squamish. We missed Squamish, guys. We got to hit Squamish too. Where's Kingston? Nine 98392 for Squamish. Let's find a zip code in Kingston. Where the heck did Kingston go? How'd I lose the town? Is it up top? Oh, Port Gamble, Kingston. Okay. That's up here. I might scratch Kingston. 98346. 98346. So let's try Squamish before we do this. Let's just see if I spell Squamish. It's Quamish. I'm sure that's going to work too. Nope. Okay. SU. SUQU. Yeah, that'll throw me off. Okay, so SUQUAMISH. Okay, so I'm sure that's going to work. Okay, no, there's not that many people there. Not that many properties. Okay, so we'll try those. So I'm going to go to the Redfin data center. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at like how hot the market is over here. I already know from experience market's friggin' on fire. But they got this data. It's free. So I'm in the data center. I'm going to leave all this noise on the screen anyway. Oh, we already got Seattle on there. Let's take out the national. Take some of these off. Take off. Okay, I'm just going to leave the rest of the noise up here because I'm just taking too much time. So 98366. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the zip codes of each one of these little towns in there. And the zip code is a bigger area than just the town, but Redfin has data per zip code. So you can do the zip code. You might be able to put the town in there too, but I know the zip code works, so I'm doing zip code. And I've been doing zip codes before, so I'm going to stick with what I know. We're going to see if there's any outliers, like if some of these areas are broken, like the market's not happening. We'll just skip them. We won't do business there. Or if some of them are like, whoo, maybe we might offer more. Okay, so we got these things. Okay. If I can get something off the screen. Let's get Washington, D.C. off of there. Okay, so we got it down to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, much higher price. Seattle, like the Seattle area is much higher price than over here on the Kitsap Peninsula. What's this zip code? This one's higher priced. 98346. 98346. Kingston. So Kingston is priced the highest at, let's see what we got here. 483. And this is an average. These are like house average. It's not vacant land, but you can get a reference of what kind of difference these APNs might have, or these zip codes might have. And so this one is 98383. This is Polsbolo, 430. So Kingston is like over by where the the ferry goes over to the mainland, goes over to Seattle. So it's getting it there. Polsbo, I don't know why that one's getting higher. Just average higher prices in there for whatever reason. And then these other ones are all kind of 300, just over 300,000 for houses. So if we look at supply is like how much stuff is on the market compared to how much sells in a month. Ooh. That's not our zip codes. Like supply is dropping Los Angeles and Seattle. Supply is dropping. Months of supply, 0.9 in Seattle. I love that. Months of supply in Los Angeles, 2 months. So people stop listing new stuff on the market. In 2 months, there wouldn't be anything left. The rate stuff selling. That's nice to see. I mean, these are two different markets, but they're both coalescing with each other. And too bad it doesn't cover the zip codes. We'll get there. So zip code data, let's see. They're not going to have, well, it's so small. Inventory is so small on here compared to the others. So let's see if we can get rid of Los Angeles. LES. Let's get rid of Seattle. Of course, the Seattle metro area is going to be a lot more than these little zip codes that we're talking about. If we get that off the screen, then the zip code stuff will make more sense. So inventories, like what's this blue one? 98366, 98366, Port Orchard. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense because they had more properties. So of course they got more inventory. What else is big? What's orange? 98310. Yeah, Bremerton. So Port Orchard and Bremerton have the most inventories on the market. New listings. It's just interesting to see this kind of stuff. You compare a bunch of them, see if there's any outliers or something that stands out, right? You might learn something. You might do more business there. Or you might run away and not do business there. New listings. Okay, so yeah, these are going to be Port Orchard and Bremerton here. So the main piece of the business. The listings seem to be dropping off. This is December. They don't have January numbers in there yet. But historically, let's see, January. These are quarters? These are quarters. That's why I can't find the January. I want a days on market. Here we go. Days on market. So I like this. If you go all over the place and you look at days on market, you want stuff with really low days on market. Because it's like, that's where stuff sells. It's going to be the easiest place. You're getting into the business. You want to sell something. This is where it's going to be easy to sell. So if you're going to go ask for stuff to buy, go buy it in the place where it's easy to sell, right? It's like, Luke, you should have figured that out years ago. But so here we are. What is this? Median days on market. So this purple one is 98346. 98346. Kingston. So Kingston's got the highest prices and the most days on market. Median days on market 40. So Kingston's 40 days. Let's see what else we got. What's 30 days? 30 is 98346. 98346. What? It just slid down. Oh. 98383. 98383. Which one is that? Oh, polls below. It's 20 days. bunch of these are 20s. I mean, the low one's 8 days. Where the heck is that? 98392. 98392. Squamish. Whoa. Squamish, 8 days on market. We almost missed that one. Like, I want to sell stuff in 8 days on market land. That sounds like my favorite. We should go buy the whole town. Put that sucker up for sale. And then there's stuff like price per sale to list. I want sale to list. Let's see if we get sale to list. Sold above list. Price, yeah. What? Price per square foot. Okay, so you can see the prices per square foot going up. Sale to list. This is like people list it for something. How much does it actually sell for? I mean, it's right around. This makes more sense to me. 90%, 87% of what people list it for. But when was that? That's back in 2015. That seems like that should be 2008. It doesn't even go back to 2008. So it's going over here. We got, 99% of the listing price, 98392. It doesn't even matter. 9839. Well, that's Squamish. Wonder why. Probably got the least volume there. These other ones, the realtors are banging it out of the park. They're getting more than they're asking. In most of these places, low days on market, they're getting what they're asking. Like, bang, bang, bang. Let's do more deals there. And I got a realtor that'll go make it all happen that I've done deals with. So, cool data stuff. I already know this, but it confirms and motivates me to do more. Okay, so back to RealQuest. How else are we going to do this? So I want the lots that are in town, right? So let's do this site thing. Let's site address, site city. Let's get all the cities in there. Add and enter more. Port Orchard, Bremerton. Pulls below, whatever, however you say it. Do you want to buy my land? And yeah, I want to buy your land, but I can't pronounce where it's at. Sorry. Yeah. Bremerton, Kingston. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got our towns. There's probably other towns there that are awesome too, but realtor says if it's in town, it sells like tomorrow. So let's get the stuff that's in town. I'm looking at the statistics. He's right. Okay, so if I submit that, we're just going to get like some 25,000 a number. So I'm just saving my search. Okay, so now we've got it narrowed down to Washington, Kitsap County, these 5 cities in Kitsap County, Washington. Now we want to get vacant properties. So let's figure out how to get rid of all the ones that are built on. And I like improve percent. Let's try improve percent. Let's see if this works. So improve percent is the percent. It's like a calculation, right? So let's say the assessor's looking at the property and it's vacant. There's nothing on it, just some stupid land over there. And they say it's $100,000. Like, okay, $100,000 for the land. So it has an assessed value of $100,000. Later on, some guy builds the land or buys the land, builds a house on the land. He spends $200,000 to build the house. The assessor knows how much he paid or guesses and figures, price per square foot or whatever. It's kind of probably what he paid. And so, okay, $200,000 for the house. And so now the assessed value is 200 for the house, 100,000 for the land. The assessed value of the overall package is 300,000, right? So the percent of that would be, the improved percent would be 200,000 over the 300,000. It's going to be, 2/3, 66% of it is improved value. So now if we look at this improved, with that understanding, we've got the improved value in this database. And so we could do, I don't care if there's something on the property. If it's kind of small, that's cool. So we could do this improved value. We could do it up to 10%, 0 to 10%. So let's see what happens if we do that. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Like sometimes there's a bunch of holes in the data that are just, nothing's there, and I do this search and it's like, I can't find any data. It's like, you just had 25,000 records per city and now you got nothing. Like, don't tell me there's no vacant properties there. It's just bad data, or I'm not reading the data right. So I think another way we could do this, we could say square footage, like built square footage. We could do like something below some small number square footage. I might do that. So I think I might try this and try that and see which ones, see what kind of count we have. If that makes sense. Let's take a look at this comments. Danny Land says, look forward to meeting you at the 2020 event with Stephen and Jill. Best to you. Yeah, it's cool, guys. That'll be fun. I had a good time at the last event. I think we'll figure out how to do more deals going forward at the next events. Danny, the land sharks is Daniel F. Harb. Thanks, Daniel. Iowawa, Kingston Trio, MTA, Train the Man Never Returned. Train the Man. Iowawa does a lot of song references, I think. I don't know them all. But DS Weeby. Hey, Luke, just got curious if you got any cheap land in Cochise County, Arizona, in the area where Handyman lives. So Handyman lives in like the northeastern corner of the county. It's like the more expensive part of the county because you're getting close to, it's closer to Tucson. So I think he was living in Tucson before, and that's like the closest, they're the furthest he was willing to go out from Tucson. I think he had like a, felt more at home in Tucson than way out middle of nowhere, Cochise County. So he got like pretty close to Tucson, Cochise County, and he paid like 80 grand or something for his 40 acres, or 79 grand. He said how much on his channel. I about fell out of my chair. I'm like, really? Dude, you bought from the wrong guy. But yeah, I don't have any right in that area that I know of. There might be some on the website. Actually, let me take that back. I think Eric Eichelhoff has one up in that area. It might still be for sale. He had one in that area not too long ago. And but I mean, the whole county's got the same kinds of zoning. I'm not exactly sure what the zoning was on his, but RU4 is what a lot of the zoning, the rural zoning in Cochise County is. And you can get away with a lot in RU4, like owner builder stuff that Handyman's doing on his YouTube channel. Dagno Dano, hi Luke, when you are pulling out data or scrubbing data for the cheapest property in any county, do you narrow down by property tax amount or by assessed value or market value? Which of this criteria do you use? Thanks in advance. Good question. It's a really good question. I love questions like this, so we're going to digress a bit. Well, look, we got a number, 7,000 records. So let me do 7319. So this is with 0 to 10% improved. If I got a low improved, they might count some shed or something. I don't know. So the question was, how do you narrow down to find the cheapest property in the county? Well, I think the best way, the most efficient way of finding the cheapest property in the county, I don't know if efficient's the right word, but the most belligerent way of doing it is just mailing a cash offer to everybody in the friggin' county. And it says, this is how much I'm willing to pay for your land, and this is how much I'm willing to pay for your land, and who cares if they paid $2 million for it last year, or they paid $200 for it 100 years ago. It doesn't matter what they're willing to sell it for. And they might sell it to you if you ask. You just have to be the one that has the nerve to ask. And so you ask. And like I did some backpacking in India with my wife before we had kids, right? And I went to the spice markets. And you go to the spice markets in India, it's a totally different culture. Good and bad. But you try to buy spices, and because I like cooking, and I like different kinds of funky spices. Let's try some new stuff. I ended up buying a suitcase full of spices and brought I bought a suitcase just to carry all the spices back in. I don't have them anymore, but I moved those spices from house to house and along the ways, and used lots of them. But spice haggling was crazy. They would start with, some price 1,000 times what they were willing to take. 100 times would be conservative. But they would ask. They had the nerve to ask, right? Here's some white guy, cracker. He'll buy it. Let's ask this guy, $100 or whatever the local currency is, a rupee. And I'm trying to like calculate and figure and whipping out my phone, trying to crunch numbers or something. And like, no. It should be more like 10 cents, not $150. 15 cents, 20 cents, and the guy's like complaining about it, and he gets 50 cents for the spices, right? And then you go down the aisle, and the next guy's like, I'll sell it to you for 10 cents. Like, man, my counter bid to his $150 ask was 10 cents, and he would have taken 10 cents and laughed to the cleaners with it, right? Because the spices don't cost him much of anything to make. And I started learning a little bit about negotiation there. And so I started having fun with it. That's why I bought so much spices. It's like an art. It's like a game. And if you're willing to put the third world crazy ask out there, sometimes people go for it. And it just, yeah. So that's one way. The other way is to, like you're saying, sort by something. Maybe it's the smallest properties. Maybe it's the ones with the least taxes. I don't know. If you look at the ones with the least taxes, usually the ones that are like less than $1 in taxes, they don't sell to you. They're usually like a church or the brother of the assessor, or they're like a triangle in between where the freeway leaves the road and the crossing happens, and there's like some grass there that you got to cut, or they give you a fine. Like, you don't want that land. So you get these weird strips of stupidity and these easements that got cut off of some land, or a little half moon shaped thing in between one surveyor's angle and another surveyor's line. And like, where did that land come from? It was a mistake in the data. Nobody wants to pay tax on it, right? So you'll get some of those weird things if you look for the lowest tax stuff. Generally speaking, not every county is very accurate at that, but you don't want to just target the lowest tax stuff. If you targeted people that own land longer, if you can figure out how to do that, that's probably a good way. If you target areas where there's a bunch of stuff for sale for really cheap, that's probably a good way. But I mean, if there's like nothing for sale in the county and you're trying to figure it out, just mail everybody an offer and see what they say. I mean, they'll get back to you and they'll say, no, I'm not going to sell it to you for $500, but I'll sell it to you for $57 or $5,700. Like, wow, really? I thought I'd have to offer $50,000 to buy land over here. Like, this guy's willing to sell? They come up with, and his $5,700 is probably to pay a tax bill on his house or something. Like, he needs the money for something else, and that's where he gets the number from. Not that he could find any data on what the stuff trades for either. So, yeah, just make it up. Like, I mean, that's, and then next time, so you could buy it at $5,700, see what you can sell it for. Go put it up for sale for $50,000. Somebody buys it, somebody gives you a $40,000 cash bid. Like, awesome, I can sell this stuff for 40 grand. Okay, let's offer everyone $10,000 this time. Oh, they got a couple. Let's offer them $20,000. We got some more. We can still sell them for 40. Great. And all of a sudden the market starts happening and you're running the show. It's that first, throw it at the wall and see if it sticks to figure it out. It doesn't cost that much to make an offer. You just send it in the mail. Okay, so we got our data here. we got this improved percent. I'm going to knock the improved percent off, and I'm going to look for square footage. And I should know like what that comes up under, but I don't. So let's just look through the list. Fireplace. Bedrooms, we got bedrooms, bathrooms. So I think there's a square footage in here somewhere. It's like something square footage or style subdivision. Units, I like this. Units, number of commercial, number of residential. That'd be fun. Year built, waterfront. Yeah, this county's got waterfront influence. Guys, I'm not finding anything on square footage. I could have swore there's square footage on here. It's probably like looking at me in the face, and you guys are probably like, look at this idiot. He doesn't see it. He just passed it 3 times. Like, yeah. Building, living area. There we go. Building, living area. So, what do you think? 500 square foot? 600? Everything under 600 square foot, we're just going to count it as land. Let's try it. See what happens. Okay, so everything everything up to 600 square foot of building, living area. I'm looking for square footage, and they're calling it building, living area. Let's see what that does, because if I did the 0 to 10% improved, I got 7,319 records. So this should be something like that. I mean, maybe if I did 50 square foot or something, it would be closer. But yeah, 716 records. Okay, so we're not going to use that as a search. That data sucks. So it's like taking the zeros or something and then not including them, or I don't know. That'd be a different mailer. I mean, I got that in the list too. It's one of the mailers I want to do to multiple different areas, is go for small square footage buildings and just go for the land value. And if they got a building on them, great. If it's like grandma's cabin, it was built in the early 60s or whatever, awesome. You know, the roof's falling in, yeah, that's okay. You just buy it for the land value. It's probably a pretty choice lot. And yeah, I'm gonna do some mailers like that. It's underutilized properties, but not right now. So this one is, let's get rid of this building living area thing, because that just makes it too constrained. Let's go back to improved percent. Let's do 0 to 10 again. Okay, so now we got our 7,000 records, because I already tried this before. So let's save this search as Washington. What did I call it last time? Cities. Washington cities 2. Okay. So now these are all kinds of vacant properties. So I want to get rid of the weird stuff. And so I think there's a county land use in here. County land use. Now for this particular mailer, I'm just going to hit the residential stuff. I don't want tidelands, taverns. Maybe someday I'll buy the taverns, but right now, single family residential. Let's do that. Let's do the apartment complexes. I should go mail those guys offers too. Let's do that in a different mailer. Apartment auto wrecking yard. You could buy some of those banks. Nobody wants to buy a bank anymore. That's just like old fashioned. Those things are closing more than they're opening. It's all online. It's on an app now. It's not even online anymore. It's on your phone. Cabin. We can do a cabin. Just hold down the control button. Church. You know, I've always wanted to do a mailer where I just target churches. Just go buy old churches that people don't use anymore. It's a lot of them go out of business, right? I'd be interested to see what old churches sell for. I bet you they'd sell for like next to nothing. If anyone out there has the nerve to go mail old churches, I mean, sign me up. I think that'd be a fun one. You could probably sell them for less than the bricks of recycling the things. You sell the bricks for more than you could buy the churches for. I don't know what you convert them into. You just bulldoze them and use the land for something. Duplexes, not this time. Forest, not this time. Fourplexes, not this time. Grocery store chain. Oh, guys, you know how easy it'd be to buy grocery store chains right now? Those things are closing up all over the place. I have no idea what I'd do with them. Turn them into fitness centers or something. There's got to be a huge trade in converting closed grocery stores. They're closing all around us. They used to have like grocery store in each corner. Now they're just closing up because of delivery. People are doing delivery, online grocery shopping, closing those places up quick. Mobile home, real property. Those mobile homes, neighborhood, and open space. Get down to other residential. I think I'm going to skip other residential. I don't know what that is. Residential condo. We're going for vacant. Maybe later we'll do the condos. Resort, restaurant, retail, condo. Retail, trade, retail. Shed garage. You go buy all the sheds. Single family. Here we go. That might be it. Okay, so we got cabin, single family. There was something else I clicked on. Did the second one got rid of the first one? There's a cabin, single family residential. There was something else in there, wasn't there? Undeveloped land. I'm not going to try that. I'm just going to do single family. Other no. I don't know. So let's see what that does. So cabin, single family, and let's do. So I'm saving these searches each time because I'm working my way into it, stepping into it. And when I figure out they're broken, I step back and I change something. I keep walking forward as it makes sense. So something's broken. 652 records. That's not cool. I went from 7,000 vacant properties to 652. I mean, maybe those are all the residential properties that are vacant in that area. Let's take a look at some of these. I'm going to search the address and see what some of these look like. Throw a little ad in here. This software I got in the background, we'll see how it works. But I've been using it a bunch. It's called Neighbor Scoop. It's from Land Academy. I don't think they've released it officially yet. I'm on the beta testing version because I promote their stuff. So, like, this thing's freaking awesome. Once it loads up here, you'll see that you can put like addresses and APN numbers of properties in. And you can get the phone number, not just the owner's like mailing address, but you can get their phone number. And so what I've done is I've been calling neighbors to help research these properties. Hello, I'm your new neighbor. I'm wondering about how to get to that property. I'm wondering how to, I'm just asking them questions, and they seem very helpful generally if they answer the phone. Neighborly phone call. I couldn't imagine having the neighbors' phone numbers to like in the past, 4 or 5 years ago doing property deals, being able to call the neighbors. Like, oh my gosh. I'd be so much further ahead on these deals if that were the case. So I don't know why this thing's taking forever to load here, but let's try a different one. I did it twice. This website stuff's kind of slow and chunking along because I got the video things rolling up and down so I can see what's going on. Should probably, let me pause some of this, see if I can clean up some of the bandwidth. Salvatore is saying, is there any property in New Mexico that are 45 minutes outside of a city of 60,000 or so that are under $5,000? This is what I and many of people I know are looking for in many states, but I want to live in the desert again. Salvatore, if you go to my website, ruralvacantland.com, and look at the cities, you're going to have to do some Google searches or something, figure out which cities have the population you're looking for. And then look at those cities on my map. I have a map search of the properties. You can look at each one of the cities and do a circumference around it and see if there's any properties that are that kind of distance out there, and then see what their price is. My website's not sophisticated enough to put all these criteria in there and get it in bam, here you go. You're just going to have to do it a couple different searches. BJ Sells Land. Hey, Luke, why don't you do a follow-up video on this one next Monday and price this mailer on that one? That'd be interesting to see. If I got enough time, I was gonna try to price it today. But I don't know if I'm gonna have to get the kids pretty soon. So I might not make it that far into it. Digno Dano. Thank you, Luke. Amazing inputs and ideas. Just like you from Detroit properties to vacant land. Really love Michigan. Yeah, there we go. Detroit properties have been awesome. Vacant land is even more fun, and then I think starting to do these mobile homes gets even more. And they just sent out a bunch of offers on multifamily properties, and I got waterfront properties going through. They're pretty awesome looking waterfront properties, and just trying to just step it up, right? Hayden Hendricks says, Luke, are you interested in buying notes on land? No, I'm not interested in buying notes on land. I was just talking earlier in this show about how hard it is to collect on the terms payments of lots of the properties. I think buying notes on the land would be like a concentrated effort of my problems. And they're not problems, they're time vacuums where I could be working on other deals. A lot of my time goes to terms payments and renegotiating terms payments or rescheduling terms payments or trading the property around one way or the other, or the person changing their card 3 times a month between payments, or Just a lot of the day-to-day stuff with it, I'd rather outsource and move on. I like buying properties. I like to get into buying properties and sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and a lot of the other noise I'd like to push onto somebody else's plate. So I don't want to buy notes. If you want to buy notes, there's a guy in the land community called Trevor Probant, and he's in the market to buy notes. Like if you're on landinvestors.com, you could look him up there and you could market your notes to him. I've sold notes in the past to Michigan. Why can't I think of the name of them? It's like this. There's one in Lansing, Michigan. And you do a search about selling notes. There's a whole bunch of people that are like notes, notes, notes. So there's Michigan Annuity something. It's in East Lansing, Michigan. That's one of the main buyers in the country. Another big one is Boston Notes. I've sold notes to these guys. These guys are better than the Michigan one. It's really easy. Give you a quote. Boom. Notes done. Boston Note Company, like these are people that actually buy them. Not like when you go back here and you just do like all these ads, right? These are all people that are not actually buying the notes. Like I don't know that 100% for sure, but basically they're saying, yeah, we'll buy your note and give us the information. Then they'll go over to Boston Note or Michigan Acceptance Group, whatever they're called. The Michigan. She looks like she's from Michigan. First National Acceptance Company. I think they kind of changed their logo since I've done business with them. Let's see if they're. I'm pretty darn. Yeah, East Lansing, Michigan. This is the same people. So First National Acceptance Company or Boston Note. There's probably some others, but those are the main two that I know of that you can just like call them out and sell notes. And they're the ones that actually buy them. A lot of these other ads, they're people that go to those companies, get a bid from them, and go back to you and mark it up. So if Boston Note's going to pay 50 grand, they'll come back to you and they'll say, yeah, we'll give you 40 grand. And then they do some paperwork and basically shove that paperwork off to Boston Note. Boston Note ends up with your note. They send 10 grand to the guy that shucked the deal to you, and they send 40 grand to you. And you're like, just because you didn't know that, you could have gone to the end and just sold your note to them. So if you go to any one of those two, you can just dump your notes. Trevor Probant is doing actual land ones. You might be able to sell them to him. Justin Sleva is another guy that is on it. I don't know what to look up. Plum Capital. Silva. There we go. You could go to these guys. They buy notes, actual land. So there's a couple different options for you. Then you can come buy land from me with the cash you get, sell that on notes, and do it again. Anything under 0K kilometers, termites, I don't know what he's talking about. They are 2 hours to 3 hours outside. You have a great site, but you are too busy to have everything in there. But thanks, I'll keep looking. Great resources. Thank you. Thanks, Salvatore. Okay, if you don't get it get to pricing it today, then maybe next week. Maybe I'll probably like price it tonight or when the kids are running around and I can't make videos. I don't know why this isn't working. Let's just do it in Google. The Land Academy guys make some great software, but it's not always the fastest on its feet to use, especially when I got a bunch of data going up and down the internet here to pull these videos off. So basically what I was trying to look up is see if this is vacant land or if it's not. Yeah, so we got a bunch of vacant land in a planned community. And when the satellite pictures were taken, great. Now that the county data's in here, a bunch of houses have been built. But I don't want to buy lots in like brand new community like that. Those are the kind of lots I want, but I want ones that have been around for a while. Let's just find somewhere else in this group, this data set. Vacant land, it shows a house on it. Or maybe it's under my square footage or my 10%. I don't know. They get staked out for something. It's vacant. Yeah, so you get these weird properties back and like, okay, now what the heck is this? It looks like they've been like maybe cutting it out or staking it out. Like they're doing some kind of construction something here. Maybe a couple different house pads. Maybe this is probably the topsoil. They scraped off the topsoil and they're going to go to work and they'll put the topsoil back. That's probably what that is. Put the topsoil back later after they're done rearranging the topography. Okay, so back to our data set. So I mean, 7,300 down to 652. Like, what are these other land uses that are so vacant in there? There's got to be something like 90% of that's going away. To me, a large piece of the data ought to be residential. So let's go through the county land use and highlight some other stuff. I mean, they got undeveloped land. We could try that. That just got rid of the cabin. Put cabin in there and it just got rid of so we got to highlight everything we want in one shot and then dump it in there. So I don't want common areas, communication, community center, convalescent centers, convalescent store, cultural activities, duplex, fishing, Forestry land. I mean, I'll take duplex land. That's cool. I mean, manufactured home sales lots. I wonder if there's a bunch of mobile home properties that are there that are vacant. They're coming up as vacant even though they have a mobile home on them with the data that we have. Open space, timber, other commercial, other residential. So we get the weird residential. Single family. Undeveloped. I don't know what else to put in there. So we got cabin, duplex, other residential, single family, undeveloped. I mean, I could put triplex, quadplex, and that kind of property. That's probably a different mailer to go get the multifamily properties. It's gonna be priced different. Like those prices should be higher. Even though San Diego's really funny about multifamily, in my opinion. Like I don't know this to be true, but looking at the market, it looks like you can get multifamily properties cheaper than single family properties. I mean, because like the multifamily is trading on yields, right? And the residential properties are trading on I love the area and I want to live there. And so you got a big differential. Like people aren't willing to bid up the multifamilies, and they don't want to live in the multifamilies that have enough units. I mean, duplexes, quadplexes, looking at the ocean's a different story, but backside of town or something, they're not willing to bid up the multi-unit complexes because those are it's like buying business, buying yield compared to the touchy-feely I want to live here prices. So I think San Diego, or probably other hot markets like San Diego, the multifamily stuff makes more sense than the actual residential houses, the residential properties. We'll see. That's just a theory I have. I'm testing it. We'll see if it comes true. But just thinking out loud. Okay, so let's save this again. Here's 4. Let's see how many we get this time. Let's see if we get more than the 652. Ooh, something's happening. 4,700. Ooh. Kitsap County Public Works. There's the others. I mean, these are a lot of names, just a lot of people names. If it was all government names, I'd be scared that I did something wrong. Kitsap County Public Works. So I'm going to have to scrub some of that funky stuff out of the data. Okay, so I think we got a data set. Like this is more of a sizable mailer. So we're at 4737. So we got Kitsap County Public Works, and we probably got some other crazy government parks or something involved in there that we could scrub out. So let's go back to the search. I've got to go get the kids. I'm going to do one thing here. Property tax let's do $100 to whatever. Let's see what happens. I didn't save it. $47.37. Everything's got at least $100 tax. The idea of $100 tax is the public works stuff probably has some really low to no tax on the property. We've got Home Depot in there. Yeah, we still got public works in there. I wonder if I saved it to the list. I don't think I actually saved it to the list, so maybe I'll get a different number this time. I was thinking about going to get the kids. I gotta go get the kids. So Greg, if you're still on here watching, there's a guy complaining earlier on in the show. My office found a notary for you. So we're shipping, I'm going to print that out here. I gotta get the kids. As soon as I get back from that, I'll print that out and ship it to the notary so you get a refund on your property. They'll bring it to your door. The paperwork to sign. Full service refund. Okay, so we've got 233. So yeah, so the taxes really skimmed it off of there. I'll keep working on this, but the idea was if I want to get rid of, the government properties, and a good way to do that is to put maybe $1, $5, or $100 or something, some small tax number in there, up to and including property tax, up to and including $100. So I did that the wrong way. I want it to be from 100 to whatever, and that might work better. So that's probably what'll do it. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna play with it some more later, but I'm out of time on this live video. Hopefully you guys are learning something. I'm gonna try to bring more educational videos like this in the future. I'm gonna save this before I check out. And thanks everybody for your questions. Thanks for chiming in, and we'll keep working on this going forward. I got such a list of mailers I want to do. I think I could show you guys a lot about mailers, and I want to get the ones I promised out the door, and then I'll be open for taking on more mailers, doing with partners and stuff. So I just got to get the promises caught up, and then it'll be open for more. So thank you. Thanks everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Chime in again next time you see it. Just sign up for the live, or sign up, hit subscribe on your phones or wherever you're watching YouTube. Hit the bell, and your phones and your TV, your computer, wherever you have YouTube, will start giving you notifications when I come on live. And then you'll see the recorded versions later. If you miss the live version, you can always go watch the recorded versions later. And feel free to ask questions. I'll try to answer them along the way too. Thanks. See you again next time. Bye.